3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Gopher Watch League Season 2 Rumble in the Junegle Qualifiers. We have the exciting match here ahead of us today, the Wakanda BBQs going up against the Rialto Rincewinds. I'm your play-by-play caster, Booney, and alongside me today is going to be Hefe. And Hefe, both these teams, one had a pretty darn good start to the season, the other one not so much. What can we expect to see here today in this Week 2 matchup?
I think this is going to be a really good matchup. You know, we had the Rialto Rincewinds just coming off of a tough loss of a 5-mapper, and the Wakanda BBQs did pretty well against their first opponent. So I think it's going to be an even matchup today. We got some new faces for the league and some returning players. So I can't wait to see how their synergy kind of locks up.
And we don't really know the starting lineup quite yet for the Rialto Rincewinds coming in, but we can look at the Wakanda BBQs right now, and it is that roster they played last week on Busan, which is going to be, of course, the BBQ Thick Boy on that tank line. Corey, both the substitute coming in here is going to be Wags coming in here in place of Cobalt, who, of course, was the MVP of last week. You know, he wins one match and takes the rest of the season off. Wants to keep that win rate up, I guess. And with Real Dog or Razmataz filling up that support line. And the Wags... The Wags substitute here is very interesting to me because when you think about how Cobalt and Wags play, they're very different in terms of their hero pool. So it should be to see what we actually bring out here. And I want to point out the Rincewinds, kind of their weakness last week was a strong echo play coming out from the Lumberjacks. And it kind of threw them off a little bit there. So we'll have to see exactly what Asquatch can bring here. But of course, as I know from last night, playing against your team, he can make a tank's life an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, he was honestly doing so much work last night, and kind of sad that we ended up losing that one in a 5-mapper. But he gets his chance at a redemption game today, and if he's on that Echo, watch out because he is aggressive and he puts pressure on like none other. So hopefully Orion and Crazy Flames can hold him at bay and give their DPS a chance to take him out.
Yep.
Because if they stay alive, they'll be set.
And I mean, just like you said, that very strong tank line of the Rialto Rincewinds will be there to make that space. It is going to be Orion and Bonesy, of course, on that tank line. The Super Monkey Ball is a favorite of theirs with the Centurion. Matthew hit scan. Centurion on the far slash Echo perhaps could deal with Wags and Sky a little bit. And Frobble and Lost Silver bringing it up the back. We will have to see. It appears that we are actually getting a swap in here. Scent is going to be on the... Yeah, Scent's going to be on the... Or no, yeah, okay. Scent's going to be on support, and Nicky L1 is going to come in here for the Rialto Rincewinds on the DPS. Frobble having some internet issues. But we'll have to see exactly what this actually turns into, because this comp is not exactly, in my opinion, their strongest look, but... you know, maybe Nicky L could bring up that veteran presence that he's been, involved in Gopher Watch for so long. I'm trying here, but I think it's just internet issues with Frobble that's making this swap come through.
And Sent on the support, I don't know if we've ever seen that in the league, but hopefully he and Lost Silver can, duo up and keep their tanks alive, because that's going to be the name of the game. Depending on the comps that they play, what we'll see, if it's rush, those tanks are very important. So if they don't go down, that's a great start for getting your team to over the victory line.
Starting out here, it is going to be mecha based on Busan. Busan is a very interesting control map because it seems almost every single point of Busan has its own little separate meta that you can play. Downtown being very strong for a hard dive comp, while the drum being a kind of a mixture of both dive and brawl, while mecha base is just solely the brawl. But I guess don't tell that to the Rincewinds there. Locking that monkey, I would not be surprised to see them walk out on this. But it does look like the BBQs are ready to bring out that standard brawl that we see from so many teams here.
Yeah, we see this, the Monkey Diva with the Moira Lucio, and it as kind of a modified style of brawl. They're going to have a little bit more sustained in the long run, but that immortality on the... from Riddle Dog is going to be of the utmost importance. So we'll see how these two tank lines clash.
As moving in here, it's going to be BBQ trying to leave the space. Orion is there with the bubble, and Centurion goes down to a Wags punch early. That's a large amount of healing already gone here for the Rialto Rincewinds, and Corey's just pelting in the damage on this McCree. Is going to find Orion, and it looks like a pretty quick fight win here. Going to be coming through for the Wakanda BBQs, and a nice start there, especially from Wags, the substitute, the ringer, coming in with the punch.
Yeah, that first pick is so incredibly important because the focus of the Monkey Diva comp is to get that Cole, and then when you go in with Cole, you just have almost an infinite amount of healing. But taking out Demora first is a huge pick, and then he just starts to cycle abilities into the fight. Going
in there with the uppercut, the bubble is forced very early from Ryan. Will not have that cooldown as it looks to engage. The jump straight up in the air, tries to get out with his life. Looks like well, the shadow comes down though. Will knock down Crazy Flame. So Bonesy out of that mech as this fight begins. Immortality field is perfectly placed as Sasquatch takes down multiple in the back. A huge play. The meter's trying to clean up to a 5th for Wags there. And this Doomfist, this ringer, I mean, he's going off right now.
Yeah, pop-off moment right there. That Shatter gets both the Diva and the Moira, so all the protection for the Monkey is gone, and he goes down immediately. And then Wags just waltzes into the enemy team, gets 2 with a Meteor Strike, and that's the fight.
And already down is Matthew, with BBQ just swinging the front line there. Orion has that Primal Rage trying to disrupt the raw composition, but it's not working as the window is there, and a Flame Strike will claim the life of Lost Silver. And I mean, Wags again! With so many kills this fight, it's just Orion alone right now trying to do anything, but he can't. The tank line is down, however, for the BBQ, so they're going to play a little slow here with the reinforcements.
Yeah, it was a big slam entry for Wags, and that sets up, denies the Cole, sets up his team to kill the tank.
Oh,
he's
he gets him in the spawn!
A massive pick.
I'm sorry I cut you off there, but gets him in the spawn with a huge drop. Right into the rotation, catches him out. And he had the blade! Nightgale cannot use that blade this fight! But they do catch Wags with no cooldowns, but they get Crazy Flames, they get Bones out of the mech Corey! I mean, this is just a roll right now with the BBQs.
Yeah, Corey's gonna high noon from the high ground and just deny any point presence, and they're gonna have to go in a real desperate last-ditch attempt.
They another point presence, the stun from Corey, the flashbang will stop the blade, raise tracks, Immortality Field's there as well, but it doesn't seem to matter as they turn the fight around. Razzmatazz with a little bit too late of a beat there to save their team, as the Rialto Rincewinds have finally claimed a fight, and will flip the point back on the fair, 99% for the BBQs.
Yeah, the desperation play, the zoning high noon may have actually turned out to hurt the BBQs, because that just gave them a chance to group up, and then when they all were together, they all forced to play together like the comp is supposed to be, then Nikio gets that blade off, and they end up running over the supports for the BBQs.
BBQ has to shatter and knocks down to a Matthew! Gets 3 with the Reaper ult! With the Death Blossom, that is not a bouquet that the BBQs want to receive, as an absolutely huge play cut from the DPS of the Rincewinds to try to stop that bleeding with the shatter from BBQ.
Yeah, big play there, and they only used 2 ults on that fight, which is really important, because now they have to cycle, because they only have 1 fight left, so they gotta win every fight.
Bubba comes down with Orion, has that Primal Rage, huge disrupt there and knocks BBQ right off, sends right back to spawn with the Primal Rage in the corner, and Nightgale's gonna clean up Wags as well, so it's a pretty 1 fight here. Can they get the stagger kills? That does look to the R, pushing the spawn area is going to be the Rincewinds super aggressive here, as they claim yet another with Real Dog. And at 51%, the alt bank is building up yet again. They could possibly hold this. It could be a clutch play.
Yeah, a single fight there, and now we're getting close to another blade. Crazy Flames is going to have that bomb, and Lost Silver is going to have that beat, and a Cole coming up. So if they can ration their ults well, this is looking really good for the...
The bomb comes up for Crazy Flames, but Ryan goes a little too deep. Just managed to get a little light. Does not matter. I spoke too soon as Wags is going to get that punch. And the high noon from Corey, so many ults being pressed. Oh, and Nike out distracted with the deflect on the high noon, gets punched, and the shatter comes down, knocks Bonesy and Matthew to the floor. And despite their best efforts, just the Q pressing of the BBQs was superior. Wags is just in the background putting in so much work right now. I mean, it's up to Nike. One has that blade, but can ever spawn. Can they delay long enough? Orion will get that touch. Here goes the blade from Nike. Can be cleared, but the grab. Thick Boy locks him down. And the blade gets nothing to beat there from Lost Silver, trying to keep Orion alive on the point. Can he get the Primal Rage in time? At 99%, has the Primal, has that delay tactic up online, but Lost Silver pays it for it with their life. It's up to Orion right now, swinging around, trying to disrupt the competition at all. But it doesn't look like it's really good doing anything, not going to get any kills out of it. Crazy Flames comes back and slams the Corey, sends the Cowboy back to the saloon. And as of right now, it's an even fight. Both teams just trading blows. Orion flying very weak, forced to retreat, but the beat from Razzmatazz can get up. Yes, they can, just in time as they don't touch the point. And the Rialto Rincewinds, despite their best efforts, are going to lose the 4th point of Busan.
That's a heartbreaker. You got that big blade coming in for the final recontest. Just gets grabbed and melted by the Zarya. And then we got the beat coming in from Razmataz. You saw him up in the air real close. And he gets that down, forces the Rincewinds off the point. And kind of a heartbreaker, you know. It's hard to get down 99-0, come back all the way, and then lose it in the end. But the ults for the BBQs were just too good.
And this is where BBQ's kind of master strategy for constructing his roster comes through here with a double off-tank play. And oh no, Wags on the Reaper. I experienced this firsthand last night, ladies and gentlemen. It is not going to be a fun day for Orion and Crazy Flames at the office. And as they walk in here, taking that drum control early is going to be Thick Boy. As the BBQs are now set up with this double composition or double off-tank, can't quite find the hook. And the drop in for Ryan in the backline falls very weak though. Wags though is forced to use that Wraith form very early. So a lot of cooldowns being forced from both, but a huge hook forces Matthew to use that Wraith form early, but Corey goes down. Corey caught in the backline by Junegle 1. Just swinging on through, and it looks like the Rialto Rincewinds, despite that early hook from BBQ, are going to flip this point in their favor very quickly.
Yeah, this double off-tank composition has 2 different stuns. You have the flash and the hook, and neither of those landed on the important targets. Orion or Lost Silver, pretty much the only 2 vulnerable targets to those. And that's kind of where that comp falls apart, because then you're standing out in the open with nowhere to go. So this double off-tank has to hit one of those stuns, or else it's going to get run over by this brawl.
Orion engages in with a nice bubble immortality field there, used, tries to keep Hogdick alive. Looks like it will, but Centurion is there with the Coalescence, putting in the healing and the damage. And so much sustain coming up for the Rialto Rincewinds that cannot be touched. Matthew's going to clean his fight up here with 2 kills of his own, and a pretty solid engage there from Orion. Goes a little deep there, might get punched for it, will, and Corey has a high noon and spawn. Forced to retreat, and Bonesy loses the mech. That's a huge misplay there from the Rialto Rincewinds, both down both tanks now, and they're going to re-engage your BBQs.
A massive overextension there from the tank line, and if the BBQs can get their off tanks to point, it's going to be nigh on unwinnable for the Rincewinds here.
And a huge hook. Oh, a flashbang from Corey was massive. I don't know if we quite got that on stream, but that flash stopped Orion from touching the point and stalling a little bit longer. He even had the Primal Rage. So a huge play from Corey there on this McCree. Not really known for the hit scam prowess, but showing it off here on this first map.
It's just, like you said, that play was just enormous. It stops Orion from touching the point. He had Primal. That's at least another 10% saved. And now we're going to see this double off-tank go to work with the window.
Wags has that Reaper ult in the backline, but the grab again locks down both the Primal and the Blade. But the beat is perfectly timed from Lost Silver to keep the team alive, and Rialto Rincewinds are force packing yet again, but they did invest quite a bit, and Orion yet again overextends. And they catch Crazy Flame's mech here as well. Matthew has to use the Wraith form to get out, and they do clear Razmataz, so maybe it's a one fight as Nuckyle's just in the background putting so much work, and those 2 kills are probably going to be enough to hold this point for a little bit longer.
Yeah, a bunch of stagger kills come through there, so hopefully we see these teams regroup, but they might just decide to go in because Nikhil's going to be late to this next fight, and Corey's got that high noon in his pocket. So if he can get some good positioning on these off tanks, or on these tanks, then it's going to be game over.
Centurion, he used that Coalescence, but Wags is there in the back to put in the work, but Matthew's already found Razmataz. So it looks like the Rincewinds have claimed this fight with off the back of Matthew on this Reaper, getting so many final blows. Wags will get 1 for the road, but it's not going to be enough as the point looks to be flipped pretty early here in favor of the Rincewinds, and their comp looking a lot better here on this point, and especially gets very scary heading to downtown.
Yeah, I mean, against the double off tank, there's so much protection sustained for the tanks that it's really hard for both the Zarya and the Hog to get much value. So they just have to work on comboing a little bit more, and it looks like we're going to see a comp change over to double bubble with a Lucio. So that's going to be an interesting matchup between the double bubble and just the classic dive tanks. Nikhil's going to have a whale of a time. Like you saw in the last round, he got grabbed out of his blade again. The beat, like you said, was good. That kept him up, but so this is going to be a little bit more of a classic, and we do see an Echo coming into play here. Corey with Razmataz on that Mercy pocket, and these teams are going to look to engage real fast.
It could be a pretty big pick here for Corey. Orion falls so weak already. So much work put in by his Echo. The sticky bombs will be there as well. And Orion's going to fall very weak and go down. There's so much pressure going down, but Reptaz will go down here. So it's not quite done without blood here for the BBQs to win this first fight. Don't know if they won just yet. As Thick Boy's up there trying to claim his high ground. Nike just putting in so much work on the spam of the Genji, and Thick Boy playing extremely weak here, has to play very slow, but BBQ, high charge, melting down the opposition here as Rincewinds are sent packing here, as BBQ clears a third despite possibly a force. The stagger kills are coming in here, but it's not quite going to be enough, as Rialto is probably going to get a res here, but BBQ with 100 charge is melting Orion and building that grab. Just free ult charge here for him. Orion, though, might get out with the life if he can. It's not quite done yet. Sorry, you're not getting a chance to talk here, Jefe. As somehow the Rialto Rincewinds have brought this fight back off the heroics of Orion. The flip point hasn't quite flipped yet, as the reinforcements have arrived here for the BBQs, but the point does flip. And without off tank here, a huge purple comes to the back end, Thick Boy goes down, both tanks fallen for the BBQs. They are forced to retreat.
Yeah, that's maybe the sloppiest mid-fight I've ever seen. You know, no clear winner until the very end, and eventually the Rincewinds come back and win it.
Oh, a big grab, though, from BBQ. Puts so much work and just melts Orion down as Wags is there now putting in the work with the shotguns. But Matthew is in your back line, and he's close to Death Blossom. But Wags hits a nano! And there it is, the Beyblade combo comes out as Wags claims for this fight. And a pretty quick flip right back here in favor of the BBQs. 30% claim for the Rincewinds, but their building's ultimate's pretty quick.
Yeah, Bonesy, just not enough DM to cover that. And then with the nano, it just gets run over. So they're going to have this high ground position here. They're going to look to drop on the backline as they approach.
And here comes the dive in from Orion. Has that Primo, which is going to go very aggressive here. But the duplicate from Corey's in the backline on Nike. Oh, 99% to the blade. He falls. But it doesn't seem to matter. Matthew and Crazy Flames have brought the fight back up in their favor here. It's up to a Primal Rage from Thick Boy to do something about it. But Corey has one of their own. Just melting and punching around. There's two angry monkeys on the field. But it doesn't look it's quite good enough, as Bonesy has yet again found Hog Dip, and without that bubble there from your Zarya, it's going to be very hard as Crazy Flames. Bonesy pops off that fight, gets a lot of kills in the back of Matthew, and flips in the team's favor, and didn't use any ults there, except for the Reaper ult.
Yeah, that's the scary thing to me, is that the Rincewinds they have 4 ults, they're on their way to a 5th, and the closest we have to an ult is Razmataz, who's actually going to get it on the approach, but that's just Valkyrie, so they might have to take the BBQs might have to take a dry fight here and just try and build some ults to catch up.
And here goes a blade from Nike L. No grab this time to stop him. We'll find Real Dog, but gets stunned by Corey. But with the Primo Rage and the bomb in the backline here from the Rincewinds, that looks like it's going to be a one fight for them, as Orion is just punching the enemy opposition quite around here and gets one for the road. Will get out with his life as well. But I mean, a lot of ults there are used by the Rincewinds for one fight, though. That they look like they were kind of won.
Yeah, 3 ults there. They didn't. The BBQ Zarya was actually on the point that whole time, so not there to support the team, and they're going to get Wags early pick and actually engage with Cole real close to spawn.
Yeah, they get that one stagger into Wags and push that go button, so it doesn't seem to matter. Another fight win here with that Coalescence here from Centurion. The Rialto Rincewinds playing this comp to perfection, very aggressive, using their ult cycles well. And no response here from the BBQs. Can anybody even touch? It looks like a desperation from Corey. He can't even get there. So it looks like the first map is going to go in favor of the Rincewinds. They can even touch, and yes, the Rincewinds are going to take our first map of Busan and set themselves up good in the start of the series.
Yeah, that last stagger fight from the Rincewinds was perfectly timed. The Tracer gets killed on the way to point, and even the Primaling Monkey can't make it there in time. So we're going to watch this beautiful Doomfist play from Wags here, and despite his best efforts, the BBQs dropped the first map.
Despite the best efforts, as you mentioned, and 72% Elam participation, that's pretty good, if I do say so myself, coming out from Bonesy. But taking that first map is a huge, I mean, especially if you can win control maps of best of 5 series, really goes in your favor, because we will end with a control. But going into our next map, definitely wouldn't be surprised to see a King's Row pick. If we can get Wags on that Doomfist again, I'm sure is what the BBQs are looking for.
Yeah, and the dynamic between these two teams is really interesting, because it's almost a difference of styles that is going to force this match. We have not seen a mirror yet, even with both teams trying to run a certain brawl style. They had completely different comps. So if we can see kind of like we did last night, where one team dominates on one comp and one team dominates on the other comp, and it's going to be map dependent. That's going to be that first control map, like you said, is going to be really important to win. It looks like we are going to get King's Row, so they definitely want to get Wags back on that Doomfist, running combos on the Rincewinds, and just making life miserable for the tanks.
And as we saw in that first point on Mecha Base, the BBQs looked a lot more comfortable on the brawl compositions. So perhaps this one will favor them here as well. We're just waiting for those BBQs to give us that R, and then we will be able to hop in here. Yeah,
on second point, that the double off tank kind of harkens back to a meta where Hog was much stronger, where those hooks were nearly guaranteed one-shot kill, and I saw the hooks were connecting, but there was just no finisher. So hopefully it's King's Row. Teams, it's almost a gentleman's agreement to play Rhine at this point, so, and I'm always down for a good Rhine matchup. So we'll see how totally new tank lines match up against each other.
And you say they're down for the Rhine composition, but the Rialto Rincewinds are known kind of for their dive monkey prowess. So it doesn't look like that's going to swap anytime soon here. But yeah, as we are going to be moving in here to a King's Row, looks like the same comp coming out here as we saw Mecha Base from the BBQs. With Wags on that Doomfist. The Doomfist, especially on King's Row, can get a lot of value. There's so many entry points, especially on point A, that you can just come from random corners and get that early pick, kind of what they're looking for here, to run them over. And the Rialto Rincewinds playing that kind of owl composition with the Monkey Rush with the Moira Lucio, but instead of the Echo, they have the Genji, which I'm not sure if it's getting the same amount of value as just saying Echo would, but it is a comfort pick of GWL, so probably playing their teammates' comfort here. And as we see, Wags forced to retreat there, knows the dive is coming in, wants to play a little bit slower. And here comes the rush from the Rialto Rincewinds, taking that space aggressively here, but the punch is ready and lined up, finds it on GWL, and that's the opening pick we were talking about with that Doomfist potential. And he's already in the backline, gets another under Ryan as well. So much work being put in by Wags and BBQ in this front line, just chucking in the damage, and now Bonesy loses the mech there as well. That could be a pretty nasty stagger, as yet again another pick from Wags. Already 70% to that meteor strike, gets another. Wags on the Doomfist is carrying this match right now.
Yeah, once you get that Doomfist roll and the first punch lands, you got to pick. You have two more abilities, one to get up and one to get out. And the Rincewinds just couldn't deal with it. They don't have a hard stun, so it's going to be really hard to deal with the rest of the match.
Wags dead again in the back of the Immortality Fields there, but broke immediately, and Hogdip going super weak. The window comes a little bit too late there from Bear Dog to give the healing to the tank. And one tick is going to be claimed here, but Wags looking to retreat or come right back in here on the point. Two ticks are given up here, but the contest comes in here, but Centurion has that Coalescence. Can he get the value out of it? Corey has that High Noon and zoning so much, but Corey finds Matthew. The slam from Wags just doesn't get anything, and Centurion finds Corey as well. Both teams trading equally here, but the bomb from Bonesy could potentially zone enough people out, and Hogdip. BBQ does not see the bomb come down and will fall, and they broke the plate right open there with that pick onto BBQ.
Yeah, this first fight, they simply ignore Wags. Wags missed the punch, and Doomfist feast or famine. So they just run over the backline while he's trying to reset with his cooldowns. And it looks like the Rincewinds are not going to take this space. They're going to leave GWL in a kind of a flanking position with that blade, but they're going to be content getting the cart past the first corner for now.
Yeah, I think they're also waiting a little bit for Orion to return back to the squad. Did fall there at the end of that stagger, but they are just staying right here on cart. And probably just sitting here maybe not to try to hold too much space to try to not let Wags get the value, but look at Wags just sneaking in the back there right on that Mega Pack, looking to get the opening punch on the team and help the team win here. All right there, but they just go right around the corner. The slam comes down and gets only Centurion, but they do lock him down. And they they just grab GWL one's blade. He can't do anything here. This is why the Echo would probably get more value in my opinion, but I don't know. Do you force a grab and is that a win? I guess maybe it could be considered one.
Yeah, I think if you trade a dry blade for a grav, I mean the grav did get more than one, but just trading those ults, getting them out so that they don't have access to the resource when they commit the rest of the ults, it might actually be worth it, because there's no ults currently online for the Rincewinds and only support ults for BBQs.
Well, they use that window early, and the flame strike right through it. Wolfine lost silver, so without that Lucio, the engage and disengage is no longer there. Immortality field falls, but it doesn't quite seem to matter. Corey, though, dies to Orion's tickle cannon, and Matthew with 2. I spoke a little too soon here as Wags is trying his best to outduel Matthew here, but doesn't seem to be working as Orion's on the point, putting in the work and taking down that Baptiste. I mean, Wags is doing as much as possibly can, but Matthew is there to finally finish him off.
Yeah, a little bit of a sloppy fight. Doomfist and the Baptiste ult committed, but they're gonna have to run as fast as they can back. The BBQs are gonna have to sprint back to point in order to contest, and they're only gonna have half their team.
It will be there. The shatter goes down, or it does get 2, but the primal rage is perfect there from Orion to stop that follow through on that shatter, and the bomb in the back line there will clean up a lot of members. Wags doing the best, but doesn't seem to matter, as a C9 will come through, not able to touch, as Orion is just taking that space and holding it with that primal rage.
Yeah, the tank pressure from Matthew is just beautiful. He's pressuring down BBQ's shield, just making his life difficult. Bomb comes in from Bonesy just to crack his shield even further, and then the Rhine's just so vulnerable.
Corey finds Nikhil early in this fight, so that's a huge pick there. Nikhil so close to that blade as well. It could have been a fight winner, but a dry fight comes through, and 3 picks here in favor of the BBQs, and it looks like the Rincewinds are full retreating.
Yeah, these stagger kills would be brutal, but it looks like there's enough sustain there to.
And they get Squatch as well.
Yeah, they get Wags, so they're gonna go in at an advantage now.
And here comes the blade with the beat. The grab comes through. Don't believe it even caught Nikhil 1, but he doesn't get anything for it anyway. But Corey with 2. You know, maybe Nikhil 1 was there. I didn't quite see him in the bodies of the tanks, but Corey, you're gonna clean that up and stop that aggression there. And that was a beat and blade both used and nothing gleaned.
And Nikhil did make it to the backline that time, but this time the grab was intended for his teammates and did the job. They pop crazy flames out of mech, and then the big Death Blossom comes through to clean it up.
And BBQ has this flank angle. I'm about to say, does Matthew see this? Okay, BBQ shatters the health pack. It's not going anywhere. Corey is forced to use that right form as well. Crazy Flames has that bomb. It could be huge to the Coalition. Is putting in so much work from Centurion. The bomb in the back. We'll find Razbataz as Corey falls. And that shatter did not work. Get that one on bot review. We ain't looking at that one, baby.
Yeah, sometimes when Ryans get excited, they take the flank shatter, and they're gonna use it no matter what, even if it's just to keep a health pack down. And we're gonna get some staggers here. That Zarya stagger is gonna be really big, but she's gonna come out with Grav, so no blade to counter this time. So they're gonna commit it onto the team, and hopefully they can get some picks and stop the advance of the Rincewinds.
And they kill Corey and Wags. Both DPS are down. The Graviton Surge locks down the Primal Raging Winston, but no follow-up is there. And Matthew still has his Reaper ult on point. Could look to chuck it out at any point. Corey forced to TP, but goes right into a Reaper ult. Gets him met there, and Wags is there with a Desperation Touch. Not going to find anything. And with 1 minute and 22 seconds, the Rialto Rincewinds are going to cap King's Row. And it all comes back to that shatter from BBQ. Could he have used it and got more value? Could they still be holding? Could they have held here on point C?
Yeah, I don't know if the shatter would have made that big of a difference, but definitely placed right, it could have been a team fight winner. So BBQ is gonna want that one back. Not much to say about it now as the round's over, but let's see if they can kind of combo their ults more productively this time. And the Winston Diva with the Moira Lucio is just looking really good. They're applying all the right pressure. They speed in at the right times, just ignoring Wags when he goes in and just running over the front line. And that's gonna kind of be the key, because they don't have that hard stun, like I said, to counter it. So they just have to engage when he does and hope that he doesn't get the value that he wants.
And I mean, I could be saying the wrong stuff here, but I mean, if you're the BBQs, you're playing this kind of slow against the composition you should theoretically have a little bit of advantage over in the brawly kind of style. Because you have that Reinhardt, you have the Doomfist as well over the Genji, so your brawl potential, I think, is a little better. So playing this as slow as they are, it seems, waiting for that counter engage on the brawl, it doesn't seem to be working. They might need to swap that up here on their attack.
Yeah, and Raz abandons the speed altogether in favor of that hard stun. So they're going to have stuns for the tanks now, and they're going to engage as a team and actually get just demolished by the front line.
Yeah, they, again, like you said, just demolish. There's no other better way to put that, but Ryan falling very weak here, might not get out there. Razzmatazz, or Lost Silver, caught out. So these staggers could come back to haunt them as a defense. Does not have the inferior spawns, but it doesn't even matter as they push in. Matthew, though, going down. Wags has got so much value on this Doomfist here in this first fight, and it looks like they're going to take the space right back from the Rincewinds and go to point.
Yeah, Wags working that rocket punch to perfection. I think he gets 3 picks with it eventually, and now the Rincewinds are going to be down in this fight.
Oh, but they do catch Razzmatazz out by their lonesome. Immortality Field's not there to help now either. They will find a Ryan in the end, but the ticks might be too far gone in favor of the Rincewinds. It looks like it is, with 2 more going their way. And just so much value being gained here by Matthew on this Reaper. I mean, that, like you said, is a very sloppy fight there coming out from the BBQs. Didn't really seem to know what they're really doing. Not on the same page.
Yeah, the Brig is really hard to play here. Just really easy to focus and run down with the Lucio. So Razzmatazz is going to have to play a little bit more careful, not die first, and get that Inspire value.
And it's hard playing a Brawl without a speed boost. You can't go down on anybody. The Shadow goes down. We'll find 2, but the Blade from Nike on the back. We'll find 1. We'll find Razzmatazz. The stun doesn't matter. Wags will respond with 2 of his own and has that Meteor Strike. Just goes straight up and down, I guess. That doesn't seem to get anything, but Ryan will again get caught overextending here right in the face of the Reaper. So if the BBQs can regroup here, they have the advantage moving in. They got placed a little bit slow, though. BBQ is back on the ball. I didn't see the swap. But as they move in, they're going to try to clear the space, but there's already 5 minutes of the Rincewinds already back, but Wags will find Matthew. Saw that Reaper there to deal with the Wrecking Ball. It might be hard to recontest. It looks like the BBQs might have this. Unless the Rincewinds just giving up 2 ticks. It looks like they're going to rook over the re-engage to the primary range from Orion in the back. Disrupting so much the enemy team. Putting in the work, and here comes the Reaper ult from Corey, but Razzmatazz and Lost Silver are both traded. Oh no, the bomb! It just perfectly placed there to catch Orion's fingers. Will go down. And Wags yet again clean up this fight. And that was just a very unlucky bomb there from Ryan. We were spectating him, and I think it caused little monkey toes in the Primal Rage.
Yeah, it was a great last-minute contest. He flies in out of nowhere, as we're going to see some of the Rincewinds get cleaned up here. But he flies in out of nowhere with the Primal, touches point, stays there for a good long time, but just no picks from his team to kind of give them an advantage in that fight. So the Doomfist of Sasquatch is eventually just going to wear him down.
Razzmatazz building up towards that first rally as well as Lost Silver up towards that beat, but Wags already there, putting in a lot of damage as Crazy Flames falls very weak here. Well, it does have the bomb for the remake though if they do need it. The Immortality Field is also Force, so here comes the bomb in the backline. Will it get anything? No, it will not, but Matthew has his Reaper out, could look to use it. That Immortality Field down, taking their time. I was expecting him thinking they'd do something here, but just taking their darn time. Moving in here, there it goes down. And it gets 1, gets Razzmatazz. Oh, 5 HP just barely gets up. Corey will respond with this loss on their own, and the picks are going in favor here of the Wakanda BBQs. And I want to think the BBQs played that perfectly, and the Rincewinds played that a little bit too slow with the advantage they had in the cooldowns.
Yeah, their engagement lasted for so long that it gave the BBQs time to set up. So their comp is meant to be fast, and they engaged, but it was a good kite from the BBQs, allowing them to win that fight.
The beat and the blade comes through, but the rally's there. Oh, Razzmatazz dies about a second into the rally cast, and that could come back to bite him. The picks are even right now, but the Rincewinds have the spawn advantage right now. Will it be enough to win the fight? Crazy Flame's going extremely weak. Oh, but Saturn is there perfectly in time to help his team. But they will eventually lose that mech out, but Crazy Flames will find the kill. Matthew going very weak here. The trades are coming in here for the BBQs, but the Primal Rage is there for Ryan to keep the point contested and will knock Thick Boy out of the mech. Will it be enough here? No, it doesn't look like as Wags fights Nick on the back line. And I think the BBQs have got this unless a miracle occurs. I don't see an elf building up here, and yes, Wags is there, putting in so much consistent damage on this Doomfist, on the enemy contesters, and they will cap with 3 minutes in the time bank here to push through C.
Yeah, this is where the this third point is going to be a little bit difficult for BBQ to play ball, but it looks like he's going to stick on it, and we're going to lose Matthew to a reset, so he's going to be out a little bit late. So this might only end up being a 1-fight point.
And I mean, the minefield could be huge for BBQ to lock off this point. Oh, that's a huge pick early here from Matthew, onto Matthew. But Crazy Flame, Bonesy gets the kill onto Wags out of the D before mid-bomb, mid-air. Hit the fadeaway on that man. And it looks like it's going to be a 1-fight here. Ryan will go down, but it's just Corey on the point. Spooky Boy walking away as fast as he possibly can. Will not get away and would have stagger himself. Volunteering a couple extra seconds to enemy team here as the BBQs are forced to reset.
Yeah, and they're going to stay engaged here. That they might lose Bonesy, but he's going to get Wags, and now they're up 1, and they just might want to force the issue here.
The minefield comes through, and oh, Nike just dashes right into the mines! Mine check, they do still work, and 3 picks here in favor of the BBQs as a spawn hold. Yet again, the over-aggression here, a little bit of an overextension there, coming from the Rialto Rincewinds. Matthew forced to wraith back to point, but it's going to get caught out by Corey, who is just sitting there menacingly. And the ult's coming in here for the BBQs. They could cap here with a little more time if the contest does not come through quite yet.
Window used in the backline, that's going to give Riddle Dog a great view, but he's going to get Blade on him.
The bomb out, or the Blade from Nike out will find one Real Dog out of the fight, but 2 picks right back in favor of the BBQs. But it's not over just as of yet. The Rincewinds are back here, and they have the spawns, and they have the ults. They're throwing it down. 2 ults, 2 picks here for the defense, as they have yet again won a fight, and with 1 minute 15 seconds, that ult bank looks absolutely atrocious coming out here for the BBQs.
Yeah, and both teams just using most of their ults that they had in that last fight. Lost Silver manages to hang onto that beat, and that's going to be real crucial in what might end up being the last fight. So if he can get a good beat value and win his team the fight with that, he could end up being a hero.
I mean, they could just use it to stall as well, because they just have to get under a minute, and the best they can do is a draw for the BBQs. So here comes that early aggression out here from the Rialto Rincewinds diving in, force out the Immortality field early. Now the cleave damage from Ryan is going to be absolutely massive in a small room. Small room, Big Monkey putting in so much work on this. Oh, but it doesn't matter, as Wags has got a pick on a Nike out 1. Centurion is forced to use a coalescence here, and the beat from Lost Silver not going to get anything either. So this could be the turnaround that the BBQs are looking for, as Corey finds 2 with that Reaper ult, and BBQ has the grab here for the last second contesters. It completely whiffs, it locks down 0 members of the Rincewinds, but they cannot touch in time, and they can't wait until overtime. 1 minute in the bank for 2 for the Rincewinds, and it's not over yet.
Yeah, it's like you said, it is not over. Both of these teams just butting heads violently. All of the fights are kind of messy, picks on both sides. The Doomfist getting a lot of value with no hard stuns, but also Orion and Bonesy just pressuring the front line of the BBQs so well. So both of these teams playing to their strengths. The BBQs with playing around that Doomfist, and the Rincewinds using that Monkey Diva Moira Lucio comp just to perfection. Nikhil didn't get Blade grabbed this time. He did get a few off and managed to get some picks, but this Genji pick is kind of out of the ordinary, but he is making it work. So this defense from the Rincewinds has to be good. They have more time, but these comps usually turn out to be a little bit snowbally. So this first point's going to be really important. If they can win the first fight clean, maybe build that coal, the last fight's going to be infinitely easier for them.
You know what we need to do for this first defense here for the Rincewinds? We need to do a comms check. Let's move in here to the comms of the Rincewinds and see what's up to on the defense.
There's already Diva. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yep, go.
Don't stop pushing.
Arch, back out.
Yeah, just back out or die.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm going hog, I think.
We're gonna have to.
I don't know if we can contest this.
I can touch at the very end, but yeah, you guys are gonna be late.
Maybe I go Zarya.
Okay.
I don't think we bother, do we?
Yeah, no. We just hold close. That's cool.
Okay, I'm not gonna be able to push this hard with you, but hopefully I can just win the neutral.
Alright, orbing here and choke.
I don't think we push
No. Don't push. I'm just holding Arch.
Yeah.
Reaper's up top.
Reaper's up top left, yeah, window.
He's dropping down.
Reaper drop. Reaper no Wraith.
No bubble, no Wraith.
I'm
Yeah,
pushing.
No bubbles at all. Doom in, doom in.
I'm on BAP. I used demo, I'm out.
Nah, I couldn't get you.
That's fine.
We need to run over these supports.
And that was comms check. You know, the little bit of cast occurs going in there, and they absolutely get hard rolled here in the first couple attacks. So my bad. I'll leave them alone for now.
Yeah, that's kind of the danger. Like I said, they lose the first fight really cleanly, and then they can't seem to bring it back. They're gonna have ults going into this one, so hopefully they can stop the bleeding here.
The early window comes out from Real Dog, putting in so much work, but Corey is there to utilize it with the Death Blossom! A perfectly placed window, perfectly timed Death Blossom, and the steamroll continues! And this Zarya Diva composition, the double off tank, finally working for the BBQ, is exactly what they wanted.
Yeah, I didn't even notice they were running the Zarya Diva, but now that you say that, it makes a lot of sense. They have so much protection for their supports with the bubble and the defense matrix. Razzmatazz almost to that rally. Almost want to see it used preemptively here, just to give their players time to get back to the point. There it is.
That was such a good play from Wags! Forces out the Wraith early there, and he's going even deeper in! Gets another one. Will they find Centurion as well? The steamroll has yet to stop! Centurion's force just run away into the spawn room. And not a lot of ults here for the BBQs to use here. But it could be enough as the grab comes down here from Crazy Flames. Locks down two. We'll find Corey. Bonesy's yet against backline. And oh, but Centurion dies right as they use the Coalescence. But Matthew is there, and the attack field goes down as well. The blade there from Nike went and clean this up. And it finally looks like it's ended this attack. But I mean, you basically complete the map with 1 minute to go. And that is extraordinary from the BBQs.
Yeah, the Rincewinds just barely managing to staunch the bleeding there. Like you said, fantastic push. This double off tank, just a different look that the Rincewinds weren't expecting. A little bit hard to counter when they have both defense matrix and bubble to counter your engages. So now we're gonna have to see if the Rincewinds can do the same thing. They have to make it all the way to third point on 2 minutes. So it's gonna be hard fought. They have to play this monkey rush perfectly. They have to engage faster. They have to.
My bad.
Lost you for a minute.
No, I mean, for some reason when I click something to do the comms check, it just randomly kicked me from Discord. So that's my fault. Continue your point. It was very good.
Well, so they have to just engage really fast and deny Wags any value. Currently, Orion's on the Orisa. Probably not going to see them roll out on that. Unless they, too, want to change it up and just throw something totally new. And it looks like we might actually get that with Bonesy switching to Hog. So they're gonna go fishing for hooks with that pull, and hopefully they can get some picks that'll lead them to third point.
And I mean, with no shields from the BBQs, this could work. The fishing comp could possibly work. The halt comes through, will get Raz, but the bubble is there just in time from BBQ. But that cooldown's gone. Both bubbles are gone now. So gonna push pretty aggressive here. It's going to be the Rincewinds, but Corey and Wags are in the backline. They can't really do anything about this DPS duo right now on the flank, putting in so much work. Real Dog will lose that top field early, but Orion goes down, pays for it with their life. They can't quite get the golden form just out in time, and Matthew is just chasing, but Corey, oh my god. As much of a flick as you can get on the Reaper character to end this fight, and a minute drained out this attack right now here for the Rincewinds.
Yeah, Corey's got to be licking his chops. He's got two real meaty tanks in front of him, and he's just going to go to town with those Hellfire shotguns.
They will take down Thick Boy here, but the response from Wags there on the Lost Silver. But Corey, 99% for the Blossom! Goes down! This overextension here from the BBQs could come back to bite them as Centurion has that Colas for the re-engage. Oh, but an early grab there! Oh no, but Wags gets caught by Matthew in the hotel flank! And that grab got absolutely nothing except a couple damage ticks there on the enemy, and Bonesy has that whole hog! Sends Razzmatazz back to the spawn, and this looks to be like point A capture here for the Rincewinds.
Yeah, that grab kind of felt like it was meant to just hold the advance from the Rincewinds back, but it ends up getting really, like you said, just not enough value. And now the Rincewinds are going to push up and see if they can get this hook going for some more picks.
Oh, but Corey's in the back line with the Death Blossom, but it gets one at the end. Centurion, or the shield of Lost Silver, just barely breaking at the end there to get that kill. And this aggression from the BBQs is excellent. Holding that spawn, trying to drain as much time off the clock as they can. And look at the stagger on the Nightgale 1. Might not be able to join the team back in time, and the swaps coming here for Desperation Touch.
Those big staggers, and it doesn't look like we're going to get a touch. Oh, switch to ball, manages to get on at the last moment, but Asquatch is in the back line, killing people, and looks like it's just staggers and desperation from the Rincewinds here.
It is just staggers and desperation, as you said, and the Wakanda BBQs are going to take King's Row. And Hefe, we got ourselves quite the series ahead of us here. I'm expecting this to go all the way.
Yeah, I mean, these teams going back and forth. Corey's going to get this play of the game on Reaper. I assume it's this Death Blossom here. Yeah, this is what won them point 2 and inevitably led to them finishing the map. But this game is already a really great match, and I have a feeling it's going to go the distance because these two teams equally matched. They play their respective styles very well, and a change in pace from both teams to try and throw people off on King's Row ended up going in the BBQ's favor. So I have no idea what to expect next. I assume, well, I know we're going to get a payload map, but it's up to the Rincewinds what kind of style they want to play and what kind of map they want to pick to match that style.
I mean, we're seeing so much adaptation go through from both of these teams here. We have the Brawl on Mecha base being matched by the Winston Overwatch League composition. Then we have that being matched by the double off-tank Zarya Diva. Then we have that being matched by the double shield. There is just so much mind games going on between both these teams. And that comes down to just the strong leadership of these higher SR players from Peace Pirates that have that knowledge, that have the experience of high-pressure situations where you're forced to adapt on the fly, making it super comfortable for the team to make these swaps and be successful at them. So we will have to see.
Yeah, both these teams just poking and prodding, trying to find something that is not going to win them fights just based on the skill of their players, because in the majority of the fights on King's Row, their styles were so different, and neither team was really out-comping each other. They were outperforming. Wags on that Doomfist doing really well, and Nikhil and Matthew on that Genji Reaper just popping off. So they're just trying to find something that can give them definite wins to avoid kind of that slugfest we saw, just picks going back and forth. So it's going to be we'll see what map we get to here. Payload is the next game type, so there's a lot of different styles you can force with a map pick. So the Rincewinds will get their choosing, and I assume they're going to try and force the BBQs onto a Winston kind of, or at least attempt to force them onto a Winston comp, because that's where the Rincewinds excel.
I'm putting my money on Watchpoint Gibraltar. If I was a betting man, which I don't have any points, so I'm not a betting man right now, but I would think Watchpoint is probably their pick here, especially if you can get, Nightgale on that Genji as well. Works very well on Watchpoint with the dive tanks. So would not be surprised either that or maybe Dorado coming out, but I think we're probably going to avoid something like Junkertown that requires those long sight lines and spammy compositions. I think probably goes a little bit in favor of the BBQs there with the double off tank. But yeah, we are just waiting for the Rincewinds to give us that go ahead. So I guess we could talk about it. We're one map in, or two maps in. Everybody is 1-1. So MVPs for both teams, if we had to possibly give one out right now, I think for the Wakanda BBQs, it's fairly easy for me to say Wags, the ringer coming in here, having one heck of a performance on the Doomfist.
He's just getting so much value. His intro rocket punches almost always give value, and then the uppercut and seismic slam away just to cycle those together. And if I had to pick from the Rincewinds, I'm not sure I could, because they're just playing this comp as such a unit and everyone's contributing. I think Matthew's doing a lot on the Reaper, Orion on that Winston with the tickle cannon, just electrifying everyone. So I don't know if I could pick an absolute MVP. They're just all playing really well together.
Yeah, I guess if one person edges out just a little bit, it'd probably be Matthew, who's been doing so well on that Reaper, putting in so much work on that character. We do have a swap here. The map is going to be Route 66, and the swap is going to be Nekiel 1 going over to tank and Bonesy over to DPS. So perhaps we're seeing a Doomfist mirror out here. That would be extraordinary. A Bonesy versus Wags Doomfist mirror is something I've been wanting to see for a while here, but probably the Echo if I had to really guess going to Route 66.
Yeah, and Route 66 is an interesting map choice to me because it offers a wide variety of terrain. So this first point held by mostly the defensive team is going to be on the gas station or on top of the girders there above point, and it's going to be a low ground push from the offense. Second point, pretty much the same, but third point is just pretty much a straight hallway. So the spammy comps from the BBQ is going to be a little bit more effective there. Some interesting comp choices, to say the least, here on Route 66. What do you think of the Corey Torbjorn?
I think it's gonna be eaten alive by the Bonesy Echo. I'm thinking Corey probably is expecting like a Doomfist or a Tracer pick from Bonesy, so he's trying to counter that. But he's gonna be in for quite the rude awakening when that Echo shows up around the corner here first. And they also 2 soldiers, 2 legs on the field. Okay, I don't think we've ever seen the mirrored legs in Gopher Watch League. This is a first.
The age of legs has returned, as you see the Echo's going to get some poke here, and this first fight's going to happen right on top of the gas station.
And here comes in that dive from Orion to take that space away from the team. Corey's in the back trying to spam him out as best he can, but falling so weak. Thick Boy is going to re-engage here on enemy team, but falls so weak, forced to retreat, but they will find Orion. Both monkeys are traded here. And Wags is, oh my god, BBQ putting so much work on the Zarya right now. I mean, these trades are going right back and forth by the 100 charge. BBQ on the point. It's going to be quite the thing to deal with. And Orion can just barely get out with his life. I don't even see a bit of health on that health bar, but they will get back just in time. But that just came down to BBQ getting that mercy pocket with the 100 charge.
Yeah, the high charge Zarya doing a ton of damage, getting, I think, all of the picks in that fight. An big anti from Riddle Dog to start, that gets bubbled out, and so no protection for Nikhil, and the Torbjorn actually ends up getting this first pick here.
Torbjorn gets the first pick, and the anti-nade as well from Real Dog is huge, forces out that Wraith, or the Fade from Centurion early, and they will get picked off for it as well. And that's a dry fight there from the BBQs, and they win, and look at that ult pick building up. They're getting close to 5 ults here, and the Rincewinds are kind of struggling to get anything going on their end.
Yeah, if this first ult compo is going to be huge, because if they can get a fight win with 2, they can start to cycle their ults, and that'll be big.
Here comes a Graviton Surge from BBQ, locks down Orion, but has that primary just to stay alive, and here comes Bonesy. He says, alright, I'm going back to tank, swaps over to that Zarya, but here comes a Visor from Wags, forces out Centurion, and it makes Lost Silver go around the corner, can't heal the team in that Valkyrie form, and Corey's turret is just putting in so much work in the back. Both supports are down for the Rincewinds, but it looks like they got some space here to work with. They take a little bit of point pressure, but, I mean, yeah, Wag shoots 3 bullets and gets 2 kills for his troubles. Cleans up that fight, and here's a nasty stagger on Nikhil 1. Maybe he can get some ult charge here, but it looks like just maybe letting him get away here.
Yeah, they have to get this kill right now because he has grab, he has charge, and it looks like he is going to try and escape now.
He might get out. Yeah, he gets the Mega. He gets out.
He gets out with his charge and that grab, and that is huge because now they can engage with it. They don't have to wait for his respawn.
Yeah, but they are walking into the Molten Core from Corey. But so many ults here to use for the Rincewinds. This is their fight to win if they want to. But here comes a Molten Core from Corey. Locks down the point. Orion flying so weak. They can't follow up on the grab because of the Molten Core. But here comes a Visor from Matthew in the high ground. They will get the Mercy buzzing. No matter as Matthew finds 2 with the aim hacks. And finally the Rincewinds look to have broken through with that Graviton Surge from Nykiel 1 and the Visor from Matthew.
Yeah, they don't have any ults going into this next point, but to that effect, neither do the BBQs, and they're going to switch to Ashe to just kind of take control of this high ground. That stagger, or potential stagger from Nykiel 1 really coming to bite them, as that grab is the point winner.
There's the point winner here. I don't know if Thick Boy sees Bones down the flank here, as Corey just putting in so much damage, but oh! I'm guessing Wags caught Bones down on the flank there while doing a flank of their own, so a nice play from the soldier of the BBQs, and an engage from Thick Boy comes in. Orion trying to set up one of his own though, while jumping on the back. The res comes through onto Bonesy. Oh, the bubble just barely falls at the high ground, so Orion forced to retreat. And that was not the dive they're looking for, and Wags has that tactical visor here as well. But they will find Real Dog, so the healing is really gone. Bonesy though caught in his high noon with that dynamite. So not quite a one fight on either side, but Corey though wants to make me eat my words with another kill here. Orion trying to force him off that high ground. Looks like they will. Orion flying extreme weak though, and burning on the gas station will have that primary just in time to start beating around the enemy here. The BBQs, and Matthew will find the pick on Thick Boy. So it looks like despite Corey's early picks, they will win the fight here. The Rincewinds, Orion going deep, will get out with his life. Ice Smoke again, too soon. My caster curse is absolutely off the charts today. And here comes a Nano 100 charge Zarya Graviton Surge to clean it up. And I just need to shut up here, Hefe. I mean, I'm sure the Rincewinds are hating me today right now.
Yeah, it looks like they did get some picks to come back in here, and they're gonna force some ults out of the BBQs. And Orion's gonna get back to point and get out with his life. So, and a pick from Crazy Flames is big. They're gonna engage on this and see if they can win the fight when they're up one.
Yeah, Bonesy's just clutching this out right now. They will get the res on a Thick Boy, will return for this fight, but Corey will come back with that Bob, has to potentially get that up to win the team his fight, or win the fight the team for the team. But another flash onto Thick Boy. Can't do anything here with Bonesy on the prowl. And we're looking for that Bob here from Corey to try to take some space back for his team and get the point contested. Comes in just in time, but Wags falls. He had the visor as well, so I mean, Orion is holding the door by himself right now. They can't get past him. He's an immovable object, and they will go through here. And I mean, all those fights were sloppy, but that's where the clutch gene from Bonesy on the DPS comes in handy.
Yeah, that flashbang is making Orion, or making Thick Boy really sad. I can just see it in his eyes, and these Zaryas are gonna have to go at it. They're both really high charge right now, and whoever wins this fight is gonna have that grab left, and that's gonna be another fight winner. But Scent goes down early to an arrow from Corey.
A really nice swap there from Corey, especially like you said earlier in our map breakdown. It's such a long sight line, such a long hallway to use, and Corey just chucking down the logs down main and getting picked left and right. And yeah, just a desperation touch there from Matthew. And I mean, both teams have grab, but only one Zarya has charge. And Corey on this Hanzo coming alive, 75% to that Dragons here in the first fight he had it, and they could get the grab Dragon going here early.
Yeah, the Grab Dragon's going to be devastating because there's no way to eat it and there's no way to defend against it. I mean, you have Cole, but that's not going to be enough when the Dragon's rolling through your team. So they have to get Corey out of position early, and it looks like Orion's going to do just that.
It looks like they are going to do just that. Gets that pick there on the Corey. The sniper out of the fight. The sleep comes down, but Nykiel 1 is there with the Graviton Surge. Locks down both the tanks. And BBQs comes down as well, but there's no Dragon to follow it up. And a kind of a wasted grab there from BBQ as the staggers are yet again coming through here in favor of the Rincewinds. Nykiel 1 pushing the spawn doors. But they do use a lot of ults here, and the recontest could be huge, especially BBQ and the Hog.
Yeah, BBQ swaps to Hob for the pick potential, and the Dragon's going to come in and try and clear off card.
Yeah, there comes 2 down already from the DPS ults, and a very late Valkyrie there from Rathmataz. Probably wasn't needed, already 3 up in the fight, but desperation calls for desperate measures here on Route 66. But right at the end, they are looking, they are going to hold. Nykiel 1 just barely escapes the energy yet again. The master of getting out, the stealth.
Yeah, a 2k visor from Wags there is going to pick off some squishies, and then the pressure from Thick Boy and BBQ on this Hog is just too much for the Rincewinds.
Here come, oh, a huge anti-nade from Real Dog. Will get Centurion out of the fight. Can't build that coalescence here. And all Centurion really has to say is nice one on that, because that's really all you can really say when you hit a fat one like that. And the Valkyrie really gets nothing. He can't really take any space with it either. Corey building towards that dragon, but Bonesy is on the flank here. We'll find Razbataz. So a source of healing already gone. Crazy Flames with yet another one. Use the high noon to reload. And they might clutch it out yet again. The Rince is moving in. BBQ missed the hook. The Nano Boost is on to BBQ here. Almost at that. Whole Hog has it after one shot and knocks down Orion. Will get Nike 1 off the cart here as well. Pushes the turn off the cart. Will it be enough? Yeah, the Coalescence is desperation. It can't get quite anything done as Matthew's on the point, but BBQ is there with his whole hog, or with his, take a breather. But Orion is back with that Primal Rage, and here's another kill from Bonesy. They might just win this. They get both tanks down. Corey is desperately trying to jump around and try to stay left with the Hounds, but Razbataz gets flashed there on the point by Bonesy. Real Dog returns here on that Moira, won't get anything, but the high noon from Bonesy will lock down Razbataz. That Lucio is no longer there to contest. Crazy Flames is going absolutely crazy here. 2 picks here for him as Orion is swinging around, using that Primal Rage, knocking him around up and down the seams. It's just a desperation bolt touch here from Hogdip, but no ults here to speak of. And the contest is absolutely terrible here coming out for the BBQs, and the Rincewinds somehow clutch that fight out and cap all 3 points.
Yeah, just a massive rally from the Rincewinds. They're down 2 going into that fight, and they managed to pull it back from the absolute brink. A clutch res by Lost Silver, excuse me, on Orion to get that monkey back in the fight. That huge health pool with that Primal Rage potential, and they go on to finish the map. And Route 66 is not an easy map to finish, so they're in a good position if they can hold anywhere on the map to take this map away.
I just want to say that Bonesy is having a con-level performance here on Route 66, with 22 final blows for his team and almost 12,000 damage. That is extraordinary coming out from Bonesy, of course, as we expect here from now on his main role of DPS. And you know, Nike Owl hasn't been doing such a bad job swapping over here onto that Zarya, always able seemingly to stay alive and keep that charge up and build his grabs to match BBQ. And perhaps the Hog Monkey, but I wouldn't expect it, I guess, out of them. But we do have Cam on that Hog and Orion on the Sigma, a new comp coming out here for the Rincewinds.
Yeah, the Sigma comp is really good here on Route 66. Those Hyperspheres, 75 damage if you can hit both of them, plus the splash damage. And that's going to be devastating from this high ground, and he's going to protect both his soldier and his BAP. On top of that gas station to just let them get maximum value.
We will have the Pocketed Echo coming out here from Wags. The hook not quite finding any targets there from Nike L1. As they're building these ultimates here from the looks of it, from the Wakanda because play is pretty slow. Flamethrower comes a badge. Oh, but Crazy Flames gets a flash, but just falls off the point there. No real harm done there with that one. And Corey is yet again just spamming in here some damage. The dive comes through from Thick Boy, but with BBQ going down super early to Nike L1, starting that Hog Diff early, on Hog Diff no less. And here comes the picks here as well as Nike L1 on the Hog, coming alive here, hitting some fatties on the tanks.
Yeah, using that hook to just lock people down, get that headshot value. He's going to take down 2, and he's going to be 50% to his ult, and all of the Rincewinds are actually doing really well with their ult charge, so the Echo from Wags needs to get value now.
And so he might put a nice hook there from BBQ, knocks Orion off that high ground, and it looks like the picks are coming through in favor here of the BBQs as yet again another Hog Diff is asserted, this time by Hog Diff, however. And I mean, the BBQs come in here with a dry fight, and they force a high noon out of Bonesy, and they take it.
Yeah, Crazy Bonesy, excuse me, uses that high noon to no effect, and now both teams are going to be coming up on a myriad of ultimates, and the copy from Wags has the potential to be big. A lot of good copy targets, the Winston and the Hog, obviously, but also the McCree if he wants to just pop off to try and creative Bonesy.
Trying to create a Bonesy is a statement that not many people can utter and get away with. Maybe Wags can be the first. And here comes that dive in from Thick Boy to try to knock him in the heels, but a huge hook from Hog Dip, but it doesn't seem to matter. as a follow-up is not there, and will pay for it with their life. But here comes a duplicate onto the enemy Roadhog. It's hooked right back, but we'll get that kill. The immortality field is just too late from Centurion, and now the whole hog out from Wag, just keeping that res away, and another hook on Orion forces that tank away. And the picks are again coming in favor of the BBQs here. And a really nice sticky bombs there. I was about to say a lot of damage, but gets 2 kills for it. And Corey says the celebratory dragon out over the corpses.
Yeah, Lost Silver tries to res there, and they end up investing sticky bombs and dragon in order to prevent it. And then Razmataz comes in and reses Thick Boy, so they're going to have a full 6 coming into this next fight. And that's, if they can hold this top shelf.
Oh no, Nigel one's caught! Caught on the flank. And taken out early here. They will get Razmataz though. Oh no, but Corey hits a headshot on the high nooning Bonesy! Very unfortunate. And they res Bonesy at enemy lines. And there's no point to touch. And Nigel one's going to swap on Zarya.
All falls apart there for the Rincewinds. Nigel gets caught. He does end up making space for his team for the Bonesy high noon, but that just gets logged. And now they're going to have Visor and Valkyrie to try and stop this really good push from the BBQs.
See if they can get anything done as Orion is close to that Primal Rage. The hook does not find anything from BBQ over in the back there. Orion jumping in very aggressively, has that Primal Rage to get out with the life he's possibly needed. Will go in and try to disrupt here, but gets antidoted and falls extremely weak and gets hooked in. And oh my god, I've never seen 1000 HP disappear so quickly. They will get the res on him though. And we'll again jump in here, but Bonesy is antidoted on the flank, but does not matter as Orion, the huge res from Last Silver, breaks that monkey back in the fight, and they're able to take the space right back.
Yeah, Orion just constantly applying pressure to the backline. Even after he primals and dies, he's still slamming that shift button in the direction of the enemy healers, and ends up getting 2 picks after the res. So big value there from Lost Silver on that res, and he's already 50% to another ultimate.
And a huge hook again onto Orion. He can't get away. Oh no, oh no! Will this Visor get anything? Just barely managed to stay alive. Does not matter. Won't get anything out of it. And just BBQ just walking forward so aggressively. And Lost Silver checking to make sure the res button still works. And yes, it does. Will be sent back to spawn though.
This Primal Rage a little bit early, or a little bit late in the fight, excuse me. Not going to be able to deny any of the door access, but they're going to shove both their tanks on the spawn doors and try and prevent a recontest.
Oh, crazy plays in the back. We'll find one though. Razmataz goes down, so that healing is out of the fight along with that Valkyrie. So that's a huge play there. Actually, oh, but the duplicate on the Reaper is just in time. It just lays down the ultimate. Wags with 3. Oh, and the huge hook from BBQ as well stops the resurrect. And a 3-minute advantage here, basically, for the BBQs. And, oh, that was a huge play by Wags there at the end.
Yeah, Wags with that duplicate. He loves the Reaper duplicate, getting that Death Blossom up real fast. And the BBQs end up making me eat my words as they finish the map with 3 minutes left. With 3 minutes left in the time bank, getting boosted to 4 after the Rincewinds finished in overtime. That's Yeah, speaking of DPS, if draw your attention to the stats, we have 2 players over 17,000 damage, Wags and Bonesy neck and neck on that damage. 1 off on final blows, so it's just a slugfest between these 2 to see who can get more value.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tough for Bonesy to try to just deal kind of solo with this Echo and this guy at the Mercy Pocket. Can't really do it as a McCree, and now here we go, get that Gone Fishing comp again. This is like a desperation pick for the Rincewinds, and it didn't work out at all last time, but oh, Thick Boy, come interesting dive there, will probably get punished here, and yes, the flashbang and the hook, but a huge anti-nade from Real Dog, but they can't kill anything. Oh, there we go. They finally get Orion by just spamming down the choke. They hooked the res, though, and now Orion is back. Both Mercies are punished, though, as another huge anti-nade comes out. Forces that bubble out early. I mean, Corey here on the Hanzo putting in so much work, so much spam on this tank line. They can't seem to do really anything. Centurion's forced to fade away, but Crazy Flames on the flank will get caught up by Corey. So it's not one just yet. Corey almost has a Graviton, or almost has his Dragons and BBQs. There is so much energy, pelting in so much damage. 86% and charging up that grab super quickly. Lost Silver going down. Oh, but maybe not gonna grab one time. Kills himself on the point. Here comes a grab, or the Dragon from Corey. Oh, Rampataz smartly using the cover from the Dragons to get that res on a BBQ. BBQ is back now with that Graviton Surge. Locks it down. Locks down both tanks on the point. And here comes a duplicated whole hog out from Wags. But Nike One is there to respond with one of their own. But can they get on back on the point here as the ball comes in for the big slam? Both bubbles are used, but another ult here from Wags. But Matthew is on the flank. A huge flank from him. Will knock Askwatch out of that duplicate here. I mean, this fight is so back and forth right now. Here comes duplicate, or the Nano on to Thick Boy, or onto BBQ. I'm just trembling over my words right now as Real Dog falls to Bonesy in the back on that Tracer, and Thick Boy falling so low. He's taking out that Resurrect. It's invested there. Orion will go down, but Rampataz pays for it. But a huge anti-nade from Real Dog. But Crazy plays with a double pulse bomb. And with 1 minute left in the bank, they've taken point A and pushing in on a point B. And the alt bank here for the BBQs is looking pretty bad.
Yeah, these two teams are making you work here. That entire minute they had in the time bank was all engaged. It was all fight, and Matthew's gonna have this visor from the high ground, and otherwise no other ults in the field. BBQ's gonna have that grab coming up soon, and that is probably gonna be their win condition. So they need to find some way to deal with him before he gets that, or just simply win the next fight really fast, which is gonna be difficult for this Orisa Hog comp.
And weird, Bonesy is flanking, but GWL gets a huge hook on the Wags there, takes him out of the fight, and just a neutral kill, no visor needed there for Matthew to find Corey, and there's no res on the field for the BBQs. Could they capture point B here as well? That's kind of caught out of position there as Raspataz gets hooked, but I think just barely managed to get their life, and here comes the visor out from Matthew in the high ground. We'll find one. GWL goes down as well. The trades in favor, but here comes a grab from BBQ, but does not matter as Matthew finds 3 at the visor. And 1 minute in the bank does not matter, as the Rincewinds have again captured point B.
Yeah, I think BBQ's gonna want that grab back. There was, I think only one person in it, and the Moira faded out, and then just no help, no follow up from his team as they were already dead. So now the only ult that they have, and he is gonna end up switching to Hog. But now the only ult that the BBQs have is that Valkyrie, soon to be a duplicate. So if Nikio gets value with this whole hog, it'll be really difficult for the BBQs to kind of stop this roll by the Rincewinds.
Oh, but her stick there onto Wags takes that Echo out of the fight early, and a hook into the whole hog by GWL. Will they get a kill out of it? It doesn't look like it. Just barely managed to escape their lives. It's gonna be the BBQs, but it doesn't matter as the DPS are starting to clean up in the back line. Corey will find Crazy Flames, and the Nano on a Real Dog, or on to BBQ, could be enough here, but the beat from Lost Silver is perfectly timed to keep that hog alive. I spoke too soon, and now they're already dead. And a duplicate here as well from Wags with another whole hog. If they can just push the Rincewinds off the point for like half a millisecond, they will win this fight by overtime clock draining, but they don't look like they're going to do it. And the res from Raspataz is huge. How do they get that off? Lost Silver going down. The Primal Rage is there from Thick Boy, knocking Matthew out of the fight, and finally it looks like the BBQs have stabilized enough to win this fight. Unless Bonesy has a clutch up his sleeve, it doesn't look like it just as of yet. We'll go down to the spam. But with 1 minute in your time bank, you'll take to the end of C. So now it's basically to the BBQs. I mean, you got 4 minutes, so it's basically you just start your attack over again.
Yeah, they're gonna have, like you said, 4 minutes to push. They're not gonna get any time back from the checkpoints though, and that's gonna be really inconvenient for them because they're gonna need all the time they can get in order to get all the way through the map. Like we've been saying the whole time, this map not easy to finish. Both teams making us eat our words, but still they're gonna have to fight for every inch. And if the BBQs end up running out of time before they get to point C, then all the Rincewinds have to do is win that one fight that the BBQs couldn't until the very end.
And, I mean, Bonesy, this is a great adaptation from Bonesy picking this Tracer, because there's absolutely zero peel coming for him right now. So he can just jump on Real Dog for free, basically, it seems. With Corey playing that Hanzo, there's no stun he's got to worry about aside from the hook. So track that cooldown, you're good to go. And as we saw, put in a tremendous amount of work on the Tracer. So, again, there's that mid-map adaptation we've been talking about since the beginning of the series. Both these teams so quick to adapt to their enemy and so good at executing these adaptations on the fly. It'll be interesting to see what the BBQs do in response to this now. Because, I mean, Bonesy is sitting in the train car, probably going to wait to jump on Real Dog yet again. See if they do anything about it this time.
Yeah, and this fishing comp from the high ground is going to be really dangerous for Thick Boy on that Winston. He needs to be very careful and not get picked, because he gets picked, then that's just another 10 seconds for off the clock.
Bit of a hook 1.0 there coming up from GWL as he hooks Thick Boy around the corner. But again, Bonesy just putting in so much damage in the back line, just being a nuisance, exactly what you want to do here on this Tracer pick. But Wags is there to respond and try to force him out, but it's not going to work. And where's his Mercy Pocket? Where's Wags' Mercy Pocket? Wags needs help here! Falls weak, will get the Mega though, is Bonesy, and here comes the hook on GWL. Will get Antonated as well, probably going to fall here unless a miracle happens, and no, it's not going to happen just as of yet. Trying to keep the teammate alive there is going to be Orion with that golden form, but it doesn't quite work out just in time. Crazy Flames does manage to get that healing off before he can die. Force a recall though, so we'll not have that as we move forward in the fight, but Matthew will find Corey, so that Hanzo spam is out of the fight. The steel pressure is gone now. Ryan can just sit there on the point and be super aggressive here with the steel positioning, but Hogdiv is walking right through him right now. Moira is forced to use that fade early though, as Orion gets slept on the point and falls weak. The pulse bomb will land on the Corey, so it's not over just yet, but the hook! The hook! Oh, excuse me, the hooks are being traded so back and forth right now. There's so much weird stuff going on with these hogs, but a huge anti as well on to GWL1. GWL1 cannot play the game. Slipped again here! And Wags will clean up this fight, and it looks like the BBQs are going to cap point a Centurion Bull Fade on the cart, but it is very short-lived here. This life is not one worth living, my friend. Get out while you can.
Yeah, the Rincewinds doing a great job making the BBQs fight for every inch. They're just gonna stagger themselves on the cart, waste as much time as they can while they build up some ultimates. And this stall is still going. They've wasted almost 2 minutes already.
It's still going, and Bonesy is just there. Oh, perfect blink into the Mega Pack as well to keep himself alive. Probably has that recall up again. Oh, does not look at it. And they force a Nano Boost as GWL1 uses that whole hog there. Maybe a little ill and buys there. Probably could use that to perhaps win an overtime fight, but with 2 minutes left in the time bank, the BBQs will cap A.
Like I was saying earlier, just a massive stall coming out there at the end, even getting picks. Obviously not enough to turn the fight, but they're just hoping for time off the clock at this point. And now they just, Crazy Flames and Matthew have gotta take care of Wags in the sky. This Echo is getting a ton of value, just burning Orion's shield. We're going to start this fight with Bongo Cole.
Desperation Duplication coming here from Wags here to try to take down Bonesy, but the stick is there, but BBQ has to take a breather to keep himself alive. The stick, the pulse bomb just randomly chucked there, does not quite manage to find GWL1's hulking body, and as he just walks around the point for free, now Orion will fall. And Centurion will use that Wraith form there, so it's not quite a one fight here for the Rialto Rincewinds just as of yet, unless they get staggered here. It looks like they got out though and they won the fight, and 1 minute left in time bank. It's desperation time for the BBQs.
Matthew just raining down fire from this high ground, and Orion actually charges in on the horse, jumps on the cart and kills the support, and that's huge for the value. Hook 1.0 coming out again as Nikhil gets hooked over the stairs.
Hogdiff will find GWL1 though. The Dragon forces them off that high ground, and a huge sleep on a Centurion as well will force a lot of these cooldowns here, but a well-timed rally from Lost Silver will keep Centurion alive in this fight, but Corey is just walking forward, the soldier on the low ground. And that Hanzo taking it out. Matthew's just running around right now, trying to stay alive, trying to get a pick perhaps, but will get found out by Thick Boy. So it looks like a one fight here for the Rialto Rincewinds, unless Bonesy, as I said, but will find Esquarch in the back on the stick there as well. Nikhil, there to clean this up. They could be turnable here. Bonesy and Cam still alive on the point. The sleep from Real Dog onto Cam, but woken up immediately there. Make sure someone's on the point here so you don't see 9. Looks they are going to get it here. Centurion has that Coalescence now to put in the healing for the team. It looks like it's working here as GWL1 walks forward, finds 2. And the Rialto Rincewinds seem to have clutched us out. Thick Boy is there with that prime work, but GWL1 with a 3rd this fight, putting in so much work on this Roadhog. And this adaptation for the double, this fishing composition seems to be working out as Matthew just some of the high ground has a tactical visor putting in the work, but gets hooked in by Hogdiff. We're not getting anything, but it looks like the Rialto Rincewinds have somehow clutched this fight out at the end. And they will win, and despite a 3-minute time bank disadvantage, will win the map of Route 66 and go to match point.
Yeah, that was just incredible from the Rincewinds coming back from that 3-minute deficit in time bank. And we're going to see a play the game here from Bonesy. He was on the flank just working this Mercy, and there he gets both supports and a flash fan to top it off. So he had a fantastic map.
Nice.
You see the nice card there, getting an epic from players in the lobby, and yeah, just incredible rally from the Rincewinds getting up to win that map. And sad to say, I have to mention Riddle Dog getting massive value out of his sleeps, but just not enough follow up from him, not enough opportunity to do damage for the rest of his team, and just these two teams just keep clashing. They're so well matched for each other, and Rincewinds on map point. The Wakanda BBQs are getting a map pick here, and will we or will we not see 2CP?
I'm guessing we probably. If I take a guess, I'd probably say we would see a 2CP because it kind of plays into that double off tank composition that the BBQ seem to love to run so much, and not play as much into the favor of a dive comp that the Rincewinds have shown to be very proficient at here.
Yeah, if you can get the Corey and Wags on two opposing high grounds, just raining fire upon that group of rush comp, it's going to be real difficult for the Rincewinds to take a map. So looks like some discussions going on about what map to pick. If you had a guess, where would we go?
Man, there's a couple interesting maps. Like Ball Sky would probably be pretty good here for the Wakanda BBQs. Get Corey and Wags on separate high grounds. You could probably try to work on Temple of Anubis maybe and play like a Junkrat spam kind of composition. Because I know that Wakanda BBQs in the first match did go to Temple of Anubis for their map pick. So I'm guessing we could be seeing something pretty similar, and perhaps some swaps here for the tank line and the DPS, because BBQ is a Junkrat one trick, so he enjoys playing that on that map specifically. Either that or we go hybrid, and all this is completely irrelevant.
Yeah, I think with Wags on that Doomfist, they might end up going to Hanamura. Doomfist is just so valuable holding high ground on the second point. Looks like they're going to offer to veto 2CP though, so it's up to the Rincewinds now whether they want to play 2CP or not.
It looks like there's some trade offer coming in here. It appears that the Rincewinds are trying to pick the map themselves by saying that we will not be a 2CP unless you go Numbani. So it appears we are going to a 2CP, as the BBQs are probably... I mean, like you said, Hanamura is a good map for them, but it also kind of plays a little bit into a dive's favor. That could... If you're thinking of a 2CP map, Hanamura is probably one of the better ones for a dive composition, but at the same time, I'm trying to think what I want to say, but the Rincewinds showed that double shield, that hook composition coming out as well, the double off tank. So I don't think you can really pick around what the Rincewinds are playing if you're the BBQs. You gotta play to your own strength, I think, at this point.
Yeah, they've definitely shown flexibility, and like you said, the counter picking going on between these two teams is it's a mind game in and of itself. And saw that the opening torb that just got demolished by the Echo in the Sky, and Crazy Flames, Bonesy goes McCree to try and clean up that Echo as well, and those two damage dealers just went at it that whole map. So with respect to map pick, like you said, it's really up in the air. They're just gonna have to pick to their strengths, and like you said, not really try and counter pick, but they're just gonna have to play their best game, and hopefully it sets the Rincewinds back a little.
And yeah, I mean, Corey is trying to argue about the 2 CP rules and how they actually work. The map type he thought was Koth for some reason. But yeah, once we actually get to a map selection, we'll be able to move in. I mean, BBQ is probably thinking quite a lot about this pick here because you don't really want to play in the Rincewinds' favor too much, but you also don't want to play against your strengths either. So, because I'm thinking, like, if I really think about this, the 2 CP maps that benefit the Wakanda BBQs, like Hanamura, also play heavily in favor of the Rincewinds. So you got to play that kind of game as well, that mental game within your own team.
I think somewhere in this text scroll, BBQ does select Anubis. So I think we are indeed going to Anubis. So this is you can play dive on this map, but not the rush style because you have to get everyone to the high ground, and not everybody on that map is everyone on that comp, excuse me, is mobile enough. So there's a lot of stuff you can play on defense too. So we're just gonna have to see what these teams roll out on. Honestly, I have no idea where these comps are gonna end up.
I don't either, because last match that the BBQs played, they went to 2CP here. They went to Temple of Anubis, but they swapped BBQ over to the Junkrat. So sticking on the tank this time because Wags is a substitute, so probably doesn't want to sub him out onto the tank role. But I mean, I guess they can try to make the Hog comp work here, but the Tacklers look to be a double bubble comp, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him stick with it.
Yeah, we're going to see Bat Mercy on the defense. Really defensive comp, a lot of saving potential with the res and the immortality field. So they're just going to look to outlast the dive, this double bubble style from the Rincewinds.
And the Mei here coming out on this hard brawl comp. I don't know how much value it's going to get, I guess, the Bonesy Echo, but it's up to Corey to stop this, but the hard brawl will come through here for the BBQs, and they're going to hope to stop this dive in its tracks.
Yeah, this Echo needs to do a ton of damage and build an ult really quickly so that the dive doesn't just end up getting completely blown up.
Both bubbles are both used from GWL 1 as well as Orion's personal, so the dive going to have to slow down here a little bit. Corey find the shots on a Lost Silver, can't find that last one, that critical shot to take the Mercy out of the fight, and here comes the bubble. Oh, the flash is there, but they can't get the kill. How's Lost Silver alive right now? It's just randomly hopping around, and this brawl is so discombobulating because the dive, but Orion's going to go down, and not a tick taken here, as Nikeal's going to fall as well. They will lose it on the main tank here, but I don't think it's going to be enough here for the Rincewinds to flip this. Oh, but the res comes through. Crazy Flames will pay for it with his life. The Bonesy falls out that Mercy pocket, so forced to retreat here is going to be the Rincewinds for at least a little bit here.
Yeah, some picks coming through on both sides. They trade made tanks, and Orion's going to get back much faster. So if they want to engage now while they're up one, they'll have an advantage for a couple seconds. Oh,
but so much damage being put down here by the BBQs into Orion, forced to retreat and use that bubble so they can't engage, and now BBQ has to turn to the fight. Well played there by the DPS, but here comes the Coalescence and the High Noon. So many ultimates. They will find Lost Silver, though, as well as a flashbang on Nikeout 1 will take his own life along with Corey's. So many ults being used right now by the BBQs, but it looks like they've won this fight. Unless perhaps another thing happens here with... Oh, but they have the ice block, and they will get these kills here. And with... Oh, but a grab from Nikeout 1. Oh, wait, what? Why are they... Oh, because Crazy Flames duped. Never mind. I was like,
that
what?
was a copy grab, so... use it or lose it at that point. Like you said, a lot of ults used though. 4 on the side of the BBQs and 3 on the side of the Rincewinds. So this ult economy is going to kind of get reset, and we're going to go at it again. Hopefully, Nikeal's grab gets a little more value than that last one from the duped Zarya.
He's going on a flank mission here. He's probably just going to chuck it in behind him. I mean, he's just walking a point right now. Crazy Flames will find Corey as well, and a nice Graviton Surge locks down both tanks as well as both supports, so Nikeal 1 on the... What the... okay. The Shatter from BBQ will find absolutely nothing but air, as he did it while he was in the grab and up in the air, so... You still have your grab if you're thick boy, so you can't stop this snowball from coming through.
Yeah, and it looks like they are going to switch to that double off-tank Zarya Diva. This is a really interesting... switch. I personally would never make that, but they have made it work so far, and Wags is gonna swap to the Bastion, so they really do not want this snowball to come through.
Yeah, they really don't. But Matthew has that Reaper ultimate. He could look for it early. He's looking for a teleport in the high ground, but isn't quite going to get it just as of yet. Looking to go aggressive here is going to be the BBQs, but here comes that Graviton Surge as well. Play out the damage. Ryan falls down, and with the 2 picks there, they can't really do anything. And that was such a weird, slow engagement from the Rincewinds. Very uncharacteristic of them, I'd say, for a series.
Yeah, Orion gets grabbed, mowed down by the Bastion, and then when Matthew teleports to the high ground, he gets stuck between a rock and a hard place, being the Kree and the Bastion. So 2 early picks off that slow engagement. No jump coming in from Orion onto the back line, but he is going to end up having Primal Rage, and we're going to see Cole and Death Blossom and Dupe. So they have the ults to do this. They just have to survive long enough to use them.
It'll be up to Corey to get some value with this High Noon to try to stop the duplicate from coming through here. As it goes right into the back line, Corey is set up on kind of the offer angle here, but, I mean, Wags is playing so deep right now. They can't really do anything into this Bastion unless they just run right into him, but Orion forces the primary so early, and the duplicate is not going to last long either. Doesn't even get the bomb built, but Matthew is there with the Reaper. We'll find Real Dog. So the start they were looking for here, as Wags has that ultimate, trying to put in the damage, but the duplicated bomb from Crazy Flames will find one. And comes back with the beam. They will get the kill in the Crazy Flames, but the picks are coming heavily in favor here of the Rialto Rincewinds. As Rasputin still has that beat, we'll probably use it for a last second desperation contest here. Has to use that beat. Oh, just barely managed to get that off. And it's just them on the point right now, though. The swaps are coming here for the Rialto, or for the BBQs, as BBQ almost has that bomb, has it, and just lets it loose there as Knockout One Foe so weak, has no bubble, and will go down. So with that first early pick here on the take, it could be enough, and Thick Boy has that Primal Rage as well, but it doesn't matter as Ryan has found 2 in the back line with Crazy Flames. Following up for one of their own onto Corey. And I mean, we called the fight early there, my bad, as somehow the Rialto Rincewinds have clutches out with the help of Orion going absolutely bananas on this monkey. I'm sorry, I did not mean to do that. But yeah, the swaps are not working here for the BBQs, and they are going to fall. I mean, Reptaz has yet again back, and the grab whips, but okay, never mind. Thick Boys rolls into it for free. Corey gets a huge stick, though. Corey finds 2, but they can't touch the point.
Heartbreaker there. Corey switches to Tracer, builds an entire pulse bomb, gets 2 picks with it, and nobody can touch the point as it's already too close to the 100% mark. Just a crazy last fight. That's 2 CP for you. Classic map type play, and the Bastion from Wags worked out early. It ended up getting dove in the end, and he had to switch. So burned some time. Only 2 minutes left in the, or 1:39 left in the time bank for the Rincewinds. So now we can see we will see how the play style of the BBQs fights against, and it looks like we're going to get a classic defense comp here with the Junkrat. This is always so scary. There's little chokes to walk through, and that 240 combo is just so deadly.
Very deadly, and especially into a brawl composition. How are the BBQs going to get there in time before there's just have no health? You know, they're going to get spammed out on the rotations. It's going to be kind of rough for them. I feel for BBQ on this Reinhardt. I know what it's like to run into a double shield with Junkrat on top of Anubis. It's not fun. Maybe you can make it work.
If I was a betting man, I would bet Crazy Flames gets an ult within 40 seconds. We're gonna get to find out right now, and Thick Boy's gonna get some charge off of this, but it'll be up to him. And there's already that damage coming through. The shield gets blown up, and Matthew gets the Reinhardt immediately.
So you said 40 seconds, right? You said 40 seconds, right? It was actually 27. Yeah, 27.
And oh, poor Hogdiff, he's gonna get. Oh, he actually gets a pin into the backline. That's huge. They're gonna get that pick.
They do kill Reptaz in the process, but it might force a tire out from Bonesy to try to stop this aggression here from the BBQs. Oh, that's a bad split from the Brawl. Comes to Wise BBQ by himself right now. They're split to high heaven right now. Just a random charge through from BBQ will find absolutely nothing. And if you want to learn how to play Brawl, ladies and gentlemen, do the exact opposite of what the BBQ just did there. Look, here comes the tire as well. Oh, I guess nothing though. Okay. They will kill Crazy Flames. Oh, but BBQ drops right in the trap and goes down. And this fight is just so sloppy from both these teams right now. What the?
Yeah, it really is all over the place, and they're just going to continue going in and stagger themselves. And a minute and a half off the clock, and I don't know if you count that as 2 fights or 2.5. It just went on for so long, so many staggers, and Crazy Flames ends up tiring. So he'll build another one up really quick, and it's going to be really dangerous coming through this choke for the BBQs.
Very dangerous, and I mean, Wag stops sort of the Genji. I don't think that's the answer to this composition, but I could be wrong. We're waiting for BBQ to hit a shadow, locks it down, and knocks down Nikeal 1. And with that window as well, find 2 with the Flame Strike, so a huge play out there from BBQ. And here comes the Supercharger out from Orion, but nobody's really there to take advantage of it, it seems, as Corey is just walking through, and BBQ's on point right now. And there's nobody around your Reinhardt right now. This is not how you play Brawl. I don't know what I'm seeing right now. It's working though, I guess.
Yeah, they're certainly not playing the composition the way it's meant to be played, but it's gonna end up getting them second point. Orion actually lives on this high ground, and Lost Silver comes into Valk, so it looks like there's gonna be just too much damage for them to get through. So a couple ults.
Oh no, but this tire could clutch it. The tire comes in. Will it get anything? It finds 1. It's not over just as of yet. Could the Rialto Rincewinds be clutching this one? The grab comes through out from Thick Boy. Has to use it to win it for the team the fight. But Centurion finds Rasputin's not over just yet. But it is just Centurion. And finally they will get the kills. But they do force the Graviton Surge. So the snowball potential is less so. But a lot of stuff's coming through here. As Bonesy has finally locked the Doomfist here. In this match.
Yeah, he's going to roll out to the top right. Going to get a slam on the entry. And we'll see if Bonesy can have equal value as Wags did on this Doomfist.
I mean, here we come, Hogdiff. BBQ will have that shatter. Will it get blocked up? It doesn't look like it. The shield is not there in time! And the blade is well out from Wags. Will it get anything? It doesn't look like it. Oh, it does get 1. But Matthew just perched upon his high ground for free right now. And the Rialto Rincewinds seems to have taken this fight in their favor. I mean, Wags will try, but the spawn advantage is simply too great here for the Rialto Rincewinds, and they will hold here on the defense.
I have nothing, no good breakdown on that fight. It was just everywhere. A big shatter coming through from BBQ though. Even though that shield was down, just the timing of the propagation of the shatter just at the right speed, and manages to knock down 2. They don't win the fight off of it though, and now they're gonna have to reset.
You have to reset, but they do have a couple ultimates building up here, and the Rincewinds only have the Coalescence to use, so this is the opportunity you're looking for. You can engage with the window here from Real Dog with that window fire strike and try to get something done with it. Here comes Corey at the high noon as well through the window, but gets absolutely nothing as Bonesy is in the backline right now, just putting in so much work. Will fall. I spoke a little too soon there. And a very good engage here from the BBQs with the Flame Strike through the window as well. Force Orion out the point, has a Supercharger, will probably try to use engage. Gets that Mega Pack as well. But, oh, can't use it in time. And Corey knows where Bones is coming from, looks for the flash and hits it. Oh my god, Corey! Read Bonesy like a book there, the shatter as well. He'll clean up the fight. And with a just slightly under 30-second advantage, the BBQs are going to get up Anubis.
Yeah, both teams gonna have to play this map again, with potential for even more. Almost 2 minutes is, I'd say on point 1, I'd say at least 2 fights if you can make them quick. So the brawl style needs to kind of slow down in order just to spend that time of the Rincewinds attack. Other than that, I don't know, the Rincewinds probably going to run that Winston double bubble comp again. And with Mercy, Moira, I haven't seen that support duo in a long time. But they did make it work on attack. They finished the map. So it'll be it'll be what it will be. Just another slugfest, hopefully, of just teams butting heads.
We do have a bit of an adaptation here coming out from the BBQs. They are sticking with the Brawl tank line, but Corey is going to be on the Kree, and Wags on this Hanzo, probably trying to play a little bit further back to try to not get caught up in this dive here by Orion and just pelt in some damage from afar. So an interesting adaptation here to see if it comes to work here in favor of the BBQs, as they do have to hold here for a minute 39 seconds to hopefully get this incense to a potential Mat 5 King of the Hill in this epic series. And it is up to Crazy Flames here. Has that Mercy Pocket, so a little has to take the use of this because their dive tanks has a lot less healing to work with. Jumping into the Brawl, Orion will jump up and try to get a little bit of space, but force out down a little early. Oh, and Crazy Flames goes down so early to a Flame Strike from BBQ, and that's not what you want. And looking to get hyper aggressive here is going to be the BBQs walking forward here. But is anybody going to stop the res? I don't know if Lost Silver's been caught yet because they could potentially res Bones in the back. Oh, okay, no, never mind. They're right there. Not gonna happen. And a good early pick there from BBQ.
Yeah, and one pick is all it takes on 2CP. You see the Rincewinds back out, wait for their Echo to get back, and that's already 40 seconds off the clock.
Oh, another huge pick there from Wags on to M. Matthew. Right as I start to spec him, he goes down. Sag. But the DPS here for the BBQs are coming up so big, and a huge pin. And they can't build any ults. Bonesy had 38% and swaps to the Tracer. It's desperation time as Orion gets staggered here. And the BBQs are looking so strong on defense. The adaptations are working.
Yeah, this Hanzo is going to have Dragon Strike. That's a great zoning ultimate for the point. Crazy Flames goes over to Tracer. Like you said, he's just going to set up for a contest, as this is going to be the last fight.
It's going to be that last fight, but Corey and Wags had those ult. And another pick from Wags! Wags is going absolutely huge on this defense, but getting Primal in the corner. Will he get out with his life? Just barely, and the Shatter comes down, knocks down two members of the Rincewinds, and they get Crazy Flames out of the fight early here, as Wags with another pick here, but they're not done just as of yet. Centurion flying solo, forced to get away. The Flame Strike just barely misses, but they will get that main source of healing down from the Rincewinds, as it is just desperation time here for Lost Silver, and Nike 1 on the point. Orion returns here, does not have the Primal Rage either. I mean, BBQ is just swinging, spinning in circles on the point, but getting all the final blows to show for it. And not a single take given, so the best the Rincewinds can do is hope for the draw.
Yeah, BBQ didn't put up his shield for a solid 20 seconds, just swinging away on point, doing what Ryans do, just cleave through the resistance of the Rincewinds. And yeah, like you said, the Rincewinds can only hope for a draw, so the BBQ's a great chance to tie up and go to map 5. They're gonna have just a little bit more time, so definitely at least 2 fights, maybe 3 if they can make them fast. And they're gonna have to utilize this rush, hopefully in the way that it is meant to be played, sticking together, just running over the enemy opposition. And with Orion on that Orisa, he's gonna be a prime target.
Yeah, prime target, as well as potentially, you know, Centurion forcing out that fade and make him run around a little bit. But maybe BBQ is swapping because he's standing in the spawn room right now. Now, it doesn't look like it, but, you know, with 2 minutes for 1 tick, it is doable. I would like to see perhaps maybe Wags get a Mercy Pocket here, but that's really my only change I'd make for this composition. They can't let Bonesy get a tire in 27 seconds again. I know that's the game plan. That's all you gotta think about. Don't let Bonesy get tire in 27 seconds.
Yeah, if they try and walk through this choke again, it looks like they're gonna switch up comps completely and play double bubble with, like you requested, the Mercy Pocketed Echo. So they're gonna try and poke this stagnant comp down, and this Junkrat's gonna get a lot less value this time.
I do like that swap a lot more, because never mind if you get stuck there and just die like Thick Boy just did, but probably wasn't in the game plan. But they do find Crazy Flames, they find Bonesy. Oh, and Orion falls solo. Orion goes down as well, and they get the res on Thick Boy there. So it looks like the Rincewinds have just got absolutely destroyed there. Wags putting in a lot of work on this Echo, and yeah, as the staggers come through, I'm sorry to break it to you, Frobel, but it appears you were the one who was wrong. Frobel has rage quit the game, ladies and gentlemen. He's in there talking trash in the Twitch chat, and his team loses the map, and he's instantly gone. So Wintermoth, you were correct. You get free props, I guess, but we're going to map 5, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, this series is definitely deserving. It's been back and forth the whole time, and the adaptation made the last point by the BBQs just phenomenal. They saw the Orisa, the Hog, the Junk, and they just decided to go with the poke comp to just ruin that stagnant defense.
And we're going back to the OG composition of Nykiel on the DPS and Bonesy on the tank. It's such a close series, especially with these swaps coming in. It's so close, but we are going to be going to Ilios. I won't even go to the map break screen this time. We're just going to go straight in if we can. But yeah, this is a nuts series, and both these teams are playing so well. I don't know. It's just these small, minuscule things, the small adaptations mid-map that have brought them either the map win or a map loss. So it's just, this is exactly what you want to see with the intramurals. You know, you want to see super close games. The Rincewinds are going to be ready here. I got to actually swap over to Ilios. You get to see the behind the scenes as I swap over. So what do you expect on Ilios here, Hefe? I mean, both these teams play such different compositions on every single map. So what are we going to see?
If we go to Ruins first, we're definitely going to see a brawl comp from the Wakanda BBQs. But on the other two maps, the Winston Diva or the Winston Zarya is just so much better at taking high ground and controlling space. We could see brawl on well, but as it is in your murals, we love to see hogs go at it, hook each other into the well, especially with BBQ on an account named Hog Diff. So they're gonna take a minute to rest here, a minute to recuperate, to plan out their next attack, and they'll go at it for the map 5 finish.
I guess I will go the map break screen. But yeah, we are just waiting here for that ready to go, and I'll ask you the same question again here, Hefe. Who do you think would be the MVP? We'll swap teams this time. You do the BBQs. Who do you think would be the MVP if they were to take this match here, map 5?
The MVP, Wags obviously doing a lot. Corey coming into his own on that Hiscan role. Riddle Dog, fantastic support play. BBQ had his moments, some ults, but in the end there on Anubis, he was key in taking that last point. So I think if I had to pick, I would pick one of the two DPS players. They're just doing as much as they can, and Wags, obviously a sub, it'd be kind of weird to give him MVP of another team's match, but he, at this point, he is definitely in the running. He has done so much for this team, playing that Doomfist and that Echo. And
yeah, for the Rincewinds, I would probably have to give it to either Orion or Matthew here. You know, Bonesy has been doing he's had a couple fights where he's popped up and done stuff, but Matthew has been just a super consistent DPS presence here for the Rincewinds, and Orion, solid as always, making that space for his team on that monkey. And the Orisa, he also has selected it. Yeah, there's not much you can say about commenting an Orisa player. Good pulls, you know, good job, good shield E press there. But
yeah, he did manage to stay alive though, and that's huge when you're playing Orisa.
And yeah, but we're moving in here. Corey is going to be on that Torbjorn, and Nykiel one's going to be on the Symmetra. Such an aggressive composition here coming up from the Rincewinds with the Symmetra Reaper, so it's going to be up to you know, BBQ and Corey to just spam him out and try to get the advantages where they can find them.
Nykiel does swap to Genji.
Okay.
Just he's TPing his team out, and this first fight's going to be really awkward with the brawl comp taking the high ground.
Yeah, it took so long for him to swap, so I thought I was actually staying on it. But yeah, they're claiming this high ground and not allowing Orion ready to jump on them. They're just sitting here as this big fat unit. But it looks like they're going to give the point contest over here for free. But they might just rush on to Nykiel 1 here as alone. It doesn't look like it. They do force a Wraith out of Matthew, though, so this is the go button here for BBQ. It seems to want to go into the point. As Nykiel 1 falls half here, forced to retreat a little bit. All the people on the Rincewinds are flying so low, and Lost Silver will go down to the turret. This could be it here. And oh, a huge sticky bomb there from Wags. We'll find 2. And Corey runs in with the E. I'm so sorry, Matthew. I'm trying to get you suspect time here. Everyone wants to see it, but you're always in spawn room.
And if you look at the ult charge of the the BBQs and the Rincewinds DPS, you can clearly see the difference here. Both Corey and Wags. Wags has his ult, Corey's 15%. That turret from the high ground, I was very skeptical of their late kind of push there, but it gave time for the turret to get value and a kill.
And here comes a Coalescence early from Centurion, trying to get something done, but the duplicate onto the Diva from Wags is there. But 3 picks early here from the Rincewinds on an aggressive push seems to work out heavily in their favor, as they're going to flip this point right back here at around 35%. I mean, Asquatch will be there to the contest on that Diva duplicate and the extra life here at the end, but it doesn't seem to matter. But the ult bank is building up here for the BBQs, and they're probably going to recontest here pretty soon with these ultimates.
Yeah, and they, like you see, 3 people rotate instantly to the high ground to just kind of deny it. And that fight was just kind of a whole W difference. The Rincewinds held W, went in with Cole, and ran him over. And now we're going to see tank ults committed before we even get to point.
Both tank ults and the blade to clean up this point, and like you said, not even touched the point just as of yet. But an early hold there to try to stop the bleeding here for the Rincewinds, as they are going to send the BBQs back in.
Yeah, and Crazy Flames gets out with his mech at like 2 or 3 health, and that's going to be a huge ult charge for Lost Silver and Centurion, building up those support ults again.
Nightgale 1 forced to dash away to keep himself alive here. But, I mean, here comes Corey with the Molten Core to try to make some space for the team. It catches nobody out, though, but they will get Matthew. And a nice shatter out from BBQ, knocks 3 to the floor. And this looks to be a pretty easily won fight here for the BBQs, as Bonesy's just running around in the back line. Frabble is again trying to get a advantage here by joining in and trying to get some spectators on his own team, but he's going to be team swept right away. And is anybody going to kill? Oh no, the hammer kill from Corey!
There will always be one. Corey gets the hammer kill on the mini Diva for a good stagger, actually. And by the time these teams fight, it's going to be about 70% to 80%. So really even, double support ults for both teams, and a duplicate coming up,
and
plus grab. So
here comes a grab out, locks down 3 members. So much damage being thrown in right now from both the team, but the beat and the Coalescence keeps the Rincewinds alive in that grab. But it might not be enough to sustain those. Nightgale 1 goes down, and Orion falling so weak. 70% to the Primal. Somehow gets out with their life, but Crazy Flames can't get out with the mech. Matthew does have it. Oh, but just dies instantly in the casting of the Tactical Visor. And these staggers are terrible for the Rincewinds, especially since it's now last fight. He can't get anything. Orion forced to retreat 90%. Corey has the Molten Core now to keep the point down. I mean, can Orion even touch here? It'll be up to Bonesy to try to get in there, but doesn't look like they'll be able to. Will they get the touch? They will. It is Orion on the point right now, trying their best. Bonesy has that bomb, chucks it in, right in the middle of the point. It's well placed. We'll find 3-point core finds Orion. They'll have 2 tanks to trade out right now. And it looks like the Rincewinds have somehow maybe clutched this fight out here, as Wags falls extremely low. So it's Corey to turn it with the skill orb. Will get 1. I mean, look at this fight. It's just so back and forth right now. Perhaps Wags can clutch it out here. It doesn't look like it, though. But we'll build up towards that duplicate, as Corey's turret is still putting in so much work.
Yeah, the turret value is huge. Corey already another 61% to his ult. 90. It's going to go 99 to 99 again here on our map 5. I can't think of anything better suited. This blade from Nightgale gotta be huge.
And here it comes. It gets 1, gets red. Mataz gets 2, and they can't even touch the point. So there we go. Rincewinds are now 1 point away from taking map 5.
Yeah, these teams are just going at it and going at it and going at it over and over again, and the fight's always people dying on both sides, and just some fantastic team play coming out from both. The dive style from the Rincewinds being played really well. They managed to pull that contest back from, it looked like, really dire straits, as Orion had to primal to get out so he could go back in on the point. And we're going to see the same style from the Rincewinds, but the BBQs are going to switch it up. They're going to go to the double off tank with Zarya Diva, Corey on that Reaper, and Wags on the Doomfist. So we'll see if he can repeat his performance on King's Row.
Yeah, coming in here, looking for that early pick. Oh, does just the punch, but it's onto Bonesy. Bones' mech, though, falls extremely weak. Can they get the D-mech? It doesn't look like they can. I mean, Nike1 is just chasing Wags here in the spawn. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. As Real Dog does lose the Immortality Field early here, so Matthew, the nice pick there, onto that pick. But Crazy Flames, Bonesy loses that mech. And I'm so sorry. I'll stop spectating Matthew. I know you want to see him in chat, but he never stays alive when I expect him. And Wags yet again with more picks here, and they're going to get the staggers here, it seems, on the Rincewinds.
Yeah, this double off tank is just so hard to play against because you don't know where anyone's going to go. There's no engage tool in the tank line. It's just, you know, Wags seismic slamming in or getting a punch.
Yeah, Crazy Flames, Bonesy is swapping over onto that Roadhog, trying to maybe stop Wags in his tracks, but so much damage going down on Nike1 with this 1 HP, but just manages to get out with the life. Very closer by the Genji player, but just manages to sneak away. And that's a Meteor Strike used, and a Meteor Strike with nothing gained from it. And here comes Centurion with that Colossus to re-engage here. They will find Real Dog, but Crazy Flames falls here, and the bomb from Thickboy over to Ryan. Both tanks down for the Rincewinds. So it's 2-for-2 trade, but the tanks are gone. It's looking pretty rough here if you are the Rincewinds, as they can't quite get the back cap going. And the res comes through onto Corey, so yeah, the defense will hold.
Yeah, and the res onto Corey makes it so that there's no stagger potential, so it's going to be a full 6-on-6, and with 60% to 0, and Wags getting the value that they were promised.
And here comes a big grab out. Locks down multiple members, but there's no follow-up there. Oh, but 2 kills early. Road Dog will be forced off the map, but Nike at 1 point, so we can Centurion as well. Hog Diff is just so much energy in the backline right now, uncontested, and Corey takes down Orion. It is last fight territory here, and only really one ultimate to use on either side. They will have the beat here coming up, but Corey could perhaps get a huge ultimate coming up in the flank.
Yeah, and he's set up for it, but is currently being chased out by Bonesy's Hog, and he's just gonna go for it.
A huge boop coming out from Lost Silver will pay for his life, and he had beat too. That's not good. And now Crazy Flames will fall down as well. Ryan just desperately touched the point and pays for it with the life. And Matthew, it's up to a clutch. I'll spectate you this time, buddy. Get him, King. But as we can see, he gets nothing but 6% back to spawn. Lost Silver is there for the solo beat on the point. Won't get anything. The bomb from Thickboy out as well. Doesn't look like it's going to get anything. And a 9-9 to 0. And how else would it be other than a 0.3 of map 5 for this series, Hefe?
Yeah, it's going exactly the way I had thought it was. The first map where high ground control is important goes to the Rincewinds on that Winston comp. The next map, the kind of kill box map with on Ruins, goes to the BBQs. Their double off tank tomfoolery winning out in the end. And now we get to see Well, and Well is such an interesting map because there's so many ways to play it. It looks like they're gonna stick to their guns too, so it'll be a battle of the two different comps. And it looks like one person, I guess 2 people technically, with Wags on the Doofus have boop potential, and I am always a man of boops. I love watching people get booped into the well as a Lucio player. So
I do remember casting a Rats game last year and screaming the big bosses in town after you got like 3 off on Lijiang Tower in one fight. So you are a man of your boops, Hefe. I will agree with you on that one. But Orion can't quite get the jump to work there. They are going to engage onto a target. It looks like they have isolated somebody, but oh no, Centurion gets cut out by Wags, and that's a huge opening pick here as they're going to black down Lost Silver as well. Both supports are down, and Crazy Flame falling so weak here, and the mech will end up losing it. And the double off tank composition yet again working so much wonders here. And you gotta wonder if you gotta swap here if you're the Rincewinds, because this Soldier Genji is not working in this composition.
yeah, the DPS line for the BBQs, Corey and Wags, working together in concert, just terrorizing the tanks and the backline. And they're gonna engage quick and catch Orion.
They're catch Orion, but Corey is in the middle of no man's land. Does get that mega and had the right to get out with the life. So it looks like they will. Oh, and Bonesy loses the mech as well. That's a terrible stagger. You're down Orion and you're also down your Diva mech. When are you gonna engage?
Yeah, they're gonna have to wait for Bonesy to get his mech back, and still they're gonna be running into ultimates coming out from the BBQs.
I will spectate Matthew. Oh, but the Murray Mech kill comes down! That's when you engage, when you get the remap potential. Corey using the ult as well. I believe doesn't get anything. Here comes the technical best from Matthew. Please don't die on me, buddy. Ah! No! And despite the early mech kill from Bonesy onto Wags, it looks like the BBQs are gonna hold in and Lost Silver just staggering himself at this point. You gotta die and reset.
Yep, and again, Razzmatazz getting that value on Mercy, getting that res, so they're gonna be holding forward, and really far forward actually. Wags is gonna be forced to Meteor Strike.
Yeah, Wags uses Meteor Strike. Here comes the bomb in the backline, finds nothing. So that's 2 ults, using absolutely nothing gained here. And here comes that Primal Rage, but they find Centurion again. Centurion can't do anything this game. The Graviton Surge comes through, locks down both the tanks. The bomb from Bonesy tries to keep him away as Matthew finds 2 as well in the back of it. So this could be what the Rincewinds are looking for, as they finally seem to have an advantage in this fight moving in here. It took a lot also to do so, but it looks like they finally have got it in their favor. Orion flying so low. Orion goes down. That's a huge pick. This could be turnable here for the BBQs. Here comes a blade from Junegle 1 in the small room, but the time feels that doesn't seem to matter. And the DPS have finally come alive here. And yes, they do get the flip bust 99%. The Rincewinds got to win one more fight and they get the series.
Yeah, the Rincewinds have got to pull it all the way back 99-0. This double off tank has just been the bane of their existence, so they have to play perfectly. Lost Silver has that beat. It's got to be huge. He's got to save somebody with it and get a fight win, or else, like you said, just one fight for the BBQs and it's all over.
I mean, yeah, if Wags can get in the backline and take out Lost Silver early, this fight will already be over, and this map will go in the favor of the BBQs, and they will win this series. But the engage comes through for Hog. Death the punch lines up, doesn't quite find anything for Mr. Watch. And here comes the beat from Lost Silver. Counteracts Corey's beat, or Corey's Death Blossom. They do get the bomb off from Bonesy, but it finds nothing. No kills. Here comes the Meteor Strike in from Wags. Will it find a kill? It doesn't look as it will, as Thickboy uses the bomb in the backline, finds nothing, as well as someone else being investigated for the BQ, but nothing found. Lost Silver goes down, though. So that's a huge advantage here for the BQs. Walking in, a punch. Oh, just barely doesn't quite hit it, and Rampage goes down. So it looks like the Rincewinds have brought this fight back in their favor. They need to disengage. It's 1 fight and 60% gained here. Junegle 1 goes down, but Centurion has that coalescence to try to bring the fight back in the team, or to win for the team. Oh, but gets punched out of it! Wags and 3 kills, the DPS duo here of Wags and Corey coming alive in the final hour to potentially win this series for the team. Bonesy has to be dealt with in the backline. Was anybody gonna kill him? It looks like Thickboy will. The baby on baby violence. As a desperation touch here coming in from the ball, and Junegle 1 falling so low. Probably won't be able to build up that blade in time. Orion is there with the ball. They're going to try to touch here, but no ults here. Here comes Matthew with the diva, or with the ult. Corey finds 2, though. Corey with a much better ultimate there than Matthew. And it looks like the BBQs have done it. Bar a miracle. The BBQs have won this series. I say that, but they can't touch it. Finally, it's over. The BBQs have won it. It's such an exciting fashion. What a clutch play from Wags and Corey at the end to win the series for their team.
Yeah, Wag punches that Cole. Corey, massive Death Blossom, kills the dueling Death Blossom, and gets a pick after that. So massive work coming through from the DPS line from the BBQs, and it'll give them the victory. They'll take this long Overwatch match, and they'll take a W home.
Oh my, I'm out of breath after that one. That was something different. Now comes such a tough question. We have to assign an MVP. Now, you know, we could give it to Wags. I think he would be the easy choice here, but it's not his team, so I don't feel like we can really give it to him. So let's try to make a decision between the BBQ players. And I mean, it might be some recency bias, but Corey looked to be the turning point in that series there, especially on those last couple of maps.
Yeah, I totally agree. Corey, a great pick. That hit scan early in the round, fending off the Tracer and Echo and the Genji, played really well through the whole match. Wasn't always making the flashy plays, but very dependable. And his Reaper on the end, that's where the flashy plays came in, with that double Death Blossom and winning that point and the match for his team.
And we can bring him in here. And there he is, the match MVP. Congratulations on the MVP and the victory today, Corey. Well played.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Now, we gotta ask. Corey, you're more known for your tank and your support, but you came out here and you played the Reaper guy. Was there something in the Rincewinds that you saw that the Reaper got so much value out of it? It seemed every single Death Blossom, every single flank, it seemed to find so much value. What did you see in the Rincewinds play that kind of got you that?
I saw a Winston and a D.Va and no McCree, so I went Reaper.
Well said.
That's a classic flowchart Overwatch. One more question for you here. Throughout this entire series, you played well. Was there any point where you felt the turn in your favor besides the last second of the last map? When did you feel the series turn in your favor?
I felt it turn on King's Row, to be honest. Wags was very enthusiastic, you could say. I would say his comms kind of carried the game for me, at least. So yeah, shout out Wags, very good sub.
Yeah, especially for a ringer, a very very well played. No practice with the team, and he came in, and I gotta say, if he was part of the BBQs, he was gonna be our MVP pick. But he was, especially on like Busan, Kings Row, and last map here on that Doomfist. Wags was immaculate to say the least. I'll have two more questions here, a quick one. So like throughout the entire series, both these teams really seemed to adapt to each other very well. It seemed every single mid-map change in the composition or even just the playstyle seemed to work out. Was there anybody on your team you really want to like specifically shout out for making those calls, make those swaps at the specific times?
Yeah, BBQ and Wags mostly. I kind of just play whatever people tell me to play, if I'm being honest.
The Reaper guy. All right. And Corey, the classic question. If it couldn't be you, who would be the MVP? And don't say Wags because he's not on your team.
Oh, if it can't be me and not Wags. I would give it to Thick Boy. He played like every tank, I think, and he did very well on all of them, so I would give it to him.
Thick Boy, a very good shout out. Well, that has been the MVP interview. Thank you so much, Corey, and congratulations on the win, going 2-0 in our Rumble in the Jungle. Or our Rumble in the Jungle. You are very close to getting a perfect stage and setting yourself up very well for the last week tournament. So congratulations to you guys. A very strong showing here against a very strong team. So good job.
Thank you.
And that's going to be doing it for us here at the Go for Watch League. Thank you very so much for watching and tuning in. We have a very exciting series. We had a very exciting series. Went all the way to Map 5. Wouldn't have it any other way. Our next casted game is going to be this Thursday. It's going to be the Wendigo Bilbies going up against the London Lumberjacks. Both teams getting some very big wins in their first week here in the Rumble in the Jungle. They want to set themselves up for one of those top seeds as we go to this final tournament. And of course, the Rincewinds falling 0-2. It does look like a pretty rough tournament for them. It could be potentially a play-in match in their future. We'll have to wait and see, of course, after week 3. So tune in Thursday at 7 o'clock to see that game. Thank you so much for tuning in to the action. For Hefe, I've been Booney. Thank you so much. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have a great rest